Okay, cool. So while we were, as I spoke to different people, it was really interesting, to meet people who are in their 50s, 60s, running companies, and many of them, like people that I met at leadership that were just, I felt like were 18 or 19 when it came to maturity of like running a business, not really knowing like how to, I was talking to a gentleman who was in his late 50s, and he was like, yeah, I just have a trouble, getting my team do what they need to do. And, we started talking. He's like, I just can't get them to do things, and I was like, well, what are they working for? What are they doing? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I'm not really sure, like before it was for this, but like, I don't really know, and I was just like, okay, well, how are you going to motivate them or like help them get to where they want to go if you have no idea why they're working, like besides to get money? But it's like, money for what? Are they trying to take their family on a vacation? Are they wanting to buy a home? Are they wanting to buy a second car? Are they wanting to send their kid to college? Like, what does this job mean for them? Because he was like, I don't get how they don't understand that the more jobs we get, the more money that is for them, But I was like, yeah, but do you know what it's for? Because if they're just looking at it as a means to an end and just like, I work to get money, that's not really inspiring or motivating, But when there's something bigger that you're working towards, there's something that has meaning for you, that's where people are excited to work. I shared last week, I spoke to all of our corporation, right? So the United States and Canada was all in DC last week. If you guys didn't know, it's our once a year annual district manager conference. And while we were over there, one of the things that I spoke to the group on driving sales, but a big thing, and I had a lot of managers come to me, I'm like, man, like that was just so like eye-opening. I didn't even think about that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, it's so wild. I'm like, you know what? I remember being an early manager, and I saw it this summer, some of our branches and some of our DMs where they lacked, simple things as leaders, and really being able to coach people effectively. And as we looked at it, we said, okay, what does it take, for somebody to succeed? And it's like, the first thing is, do you know why they're working? That was the first thing. And there are so many managers that are like, I don't know, like they need money, or, and it was like very vague. And I saw it through the summer. I'm like, do you know why people are working? Maybe at first they're going to be impressive for their fast or whatever, but why? For what? What does that mean to them? So for some people, it's just a sense of accomplishment. For some people, it's being able to put on their resume that they were in the top 1% of the company. For some people, they are competitive, like breaking records, best in their office, but beyond their fast start, why are they working? What is this for? For some people, it's for money. They have to pay for things. They're taking care of a family. For majority of our people, it's a combination of money and experience. And for some of our people, it's really just experience that they're after. And so do you know what excites them? And if they're trying to stand out and they're trying to, for their resume, whatever it is, are you helping them see all the things that they can attain to help them stand out even more, right? And so I talked to the managers about this. I'm like, when you guys are going through with your representatives, and I'll share the screen with you guys who are on Zoom here, so you guys can see it. Let me pull this up, screen share. All right, here we go, share screen. So for, as we go through here, and this was something that, again, I was sharing with them. Let me put this up so you guys see it. But is it going up here? Oh, I pulled this out. Excuse me, guys that are zooming in. I wish there was more space back here. Okay. So here we go. So this was, as we went through, and I talked about, and I see a lot of you guys working on this, and this is important for you guys. This is important for the people that you're working with, okay? Many of you guys are assistant managers in offices, and this is something that we want to make sure that you guys are great with, all right? So when you guys go through for, knowing like the vision, like, why are you here? And I think about for being in GCLA, taking time to do this, like, why are you here? Like, what are you wanting to get from this, and really thinking about that. I sent out an email while I was gone. It's like so many people, like, you work so hard to stand out, and then they like kind of throw it away because they lose sight of like what this does for them. This is the best business school, period, you're ever going to get, period. There's no business school that's better. There's no program you will take better than going through Leadership Academy, getting hands-on experience, going through the motions, gaining confidence with working with different types of personalities, different people, knowing the process of advertising, social marketing, which we have a kick-ass guy who's going to be speaking in 22 minutes. He was on the national stage last week, and I was like, hey, could you talk to my guys? And you guys will notice he's very like, blah. But he knows what he's doing. And last year he was on the verge of quitting, and now he's speaking to the whole company, absolutely crushing it. Sebastian, he's the one that started the Facebook Jumpstart program, and he's just been absolutely crushing it. And I asked him, I said, hey, would you share with our guys, what we can be doing now to get them great at this? So when spring comes along, it's like second nature, and they're really confident with this program. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And so he's taking time tonight to join us and talk about that, which is fantastic, but for you guys, it's like you have an insane opportunity. And tonight we're going to go through stuff. We have some financial tips for you guys, and we have some leadership stuff for you guys. And then we're going to be, going through day one. We're going to review the interview stuff because interview, that was September. Now in October, it's day one of training and getting day one of training down and getting really comfortable with that. Something you guys want to do is you got to get run-throughs. You really want to get this stuff in here. You've got to get some run-throughs of parts, So we'll have you can do a little section next week, JD, of maybe you do the demo walkthrough while I'm here, and I can give you tips and keys, and you can do a different part, easy parts, just to gain confidence being in front of the room during training and teaching properly. But you guys need to get, run throughs and get in for different parts, that you feel confident with. And then other parts you can play, sometimes when you're newer, you might have to play videos on some stuff. Even Matt is your value talk is just so good. I've just been forwarding it to because my training's recorded randomly on I don't know, YouTube. And he's I've just been forwarding and playing that part because it's just so good, and I'm whatever, it's stuff you can get really comfortable and confident in, but there's some parts where, yeah, Drew's stuff is all professionally recorded. My stuff is super ghetto recorded, but there are tools and resources to help you guys up. But I think about, for yourselves, for your people, our representatives, and you guys, think about this for you, and for each other, our staff members, do you have vision of what you're doing and why you're doing it? What are you working towards? What is it that you want to do? I put this in the group earlier, and it was funny. We were at dinner before, and I looked at David's notebook. I'm like, what are you doing? And it was just because it was something that I had planned on going through with you guys today, in my opening comments. And it was something he was just kind of randomly working on his own. And it was something that I was going to walk through with you guys. And you guys can, look at you can look here, or let me put here, stop share real quick. All right, so you guys can check this out, but you guys can look in the group me, and this is a version of one, and I like this one a lot, but there's different parts, and I want you guys to actually take a piece of paper, and I want you guys to draw this on a paper, so you can look at this, okay? And I just split it into 8 quadrants. I know he had 20 something, I think. I'm making that up, but there's a lot. All right, so this right here, and you can put, career. All right, and I know some of you guys are younger, so you're not in career, but working towards your career. Finance, all right, personal growth, and I put that personal growth and contribution. I usually put together, what am I doing to grow myself and give back? You can separate them. Health, all right, family, relationships, and so these are more romantic relationship, social, with friends, people around you in your work life. Attitude is what it has in this picture, which for me, I replace that with emotional intelligence. All right, same thing, but your attitude towards things, which is more do you really understand what's happening? What meaning do you guys give to things? Because your meaning, by the way, dictates so much of how you act and react. Your meaning makes things amazing, enjoyable experiences or absolutely horrible and traumatic things, and I've been through all sorts of different things, all sorts of shit, and even shit that happened here. It's just I'm just not going to give it more meaning to this. I'm this is what bothers me is when I don't know if somebody's a loyal person or not. But in terms of what happened, it is what it is, you can give it all this meaning, you can give it all these things, but that's up to you, the experiences that happen, what happens in your life. And if you guys, by the way, if you guys can all mute yourselves, the guys who have joined later, please mute yourselves. But when you look at this, so with the center being 0, cool. So you guys look at your sections right now, and the outside being 10, you have to rate yourself, where you're at in your career. And so right now, just call it work, right? Your fulfillment with work, profession, whatever, how well you think you're doing your work. Where would you guys rank yourself? Obviously later, this will be a different part of your life, but where would you rank yourself on work? So again, each line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, right? So I'm pretty good eye and symmetry. So anyway, you guys go ahead and rate it. So 4, mark fill into 4 and color that in. So go ahead and do that real quick, okay? So on finances, and I would say for you guys right now, finances being, what is your grasp on money, on savings? Do you have routines? Are you smart with money? I'm going to talk about money stuff later, but there's some basics. And I shared this with one of our DMs earlier today. We were talking about this. I said, for you, a 10, all right, you have to also identify what does a 10 look like and try to keep it in smaller increments. There's one thing saying a 10 in your life, right? Financial goal, like my financial goal is to be able to give away $1 million a year, no problem. So that's further on down the line. Right now, it's I want to be comfortable giving away $100 grand a year, which is something that I've been able to do recently. And it's like, all right, cool. And being comfortable with being able to just give it if somebody's in need or something, something that's happening. Like I want to be able to do that. Starting the new business, that put me back a little bit, but I'm like, all right, in the next 3 to 5 years, I'll be back in a place where I can be, not just saving and putting away 6-figure money, but also being able to give it away as well, And so what does that look like? And so right now I think about for you guys where you're at, it's just what is your financial fitness? What's your smarts with it? Like what do you know about money, how to save money, how to be smart with money? Or if you spend and you're frivolous and you never have any savings and you're always struggling, I would rate yourself a 1 or a 2, like be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. And so you're like, how good am I with money? So rate yourself. Are you a 2? Are you a 9? People are in different places, right? In terms of where they're at. So I want you guys to rate where you're at with your finances. So make a mark for that. Then you've got personal growth and contribution. So you can separate those. You can pick one of the topics, whatever, but whatever is important to you. It's like, what are you doing to grow yourself? Are you reading? We gave you guys a list of books that you could read, suggested books. And I have tons more. And I've got workbooks and I've got audios. And we've got so much stuff. Are you taking 30 minutes out, even like once a week? Like even once a week. I recommend at least 3 times a week to listen to a 15 to 30-minute podcast. That's like any drive you have in Houston. You're going to be in the car longer than that, So can you put something on that's feeding your brain and is really helping you grow as an individual, all right? So you can do that. And contribution, I know it's important to some of you guys. Some of you guys that might not be one of your top things. That's something that's on mine. For me, family, social life goes all under family. It's family and friends. And so for me, personal growth and contribution are separate things. So personal growth is something that I rate, and then contribution is something that I rate separately. It's a very big part of my life. Where for me, social life and family is all together. It's like friends and family and then my relationship. So this is more romantic relationship. So whether you're dating somebody, you're married, whatever it is, being able to rate that. So you go through and you look at this circle of life, and what you'll notice, and you guys can go through all your segments and say, okay, where am I here? Health, where do you rate yourself? You're like, all right, I'm here on health. I rate myself a 6 or a 7. Family, I'm like down here. Relationship doesn't exist, so I'm like here, or like mine's like full, social life, whatever that is for you, you're like, here. Emotional intelligence, some people are high, some people, you guys are very low. And if this was this is what it comes out to. It's funny because when he was doing it at dinner, he's like, dang, my wheel, it's not really a wheel. Most people's is not. But when you look at it and you're like, this is my wheel, and if you were trying to drive with this wheel and that was your wheel, how great would that function? How great would it roll, right? Like, no, it wouldn't, is the answer. You just kind of be stuck somewhere, all right? And the same way, when you're not fully balanced in the different areas of your life, you're not going to roll the way you want to roll, all right? And so one of the biggest things that I love about Cutco and Vector is that it gives you resources and it teaches you to be aware of these things. These are the things I didn't think about when I was younger, and it didn't just come out in Justin Ledford's book. This is something that's been around for a long time. And he used an example of it in his Visions to the Top, which is fantastic. Tony Robbins, if you've gone to UPW anytime in the last 30 or 40 years, that's a part of his workbook where he goes through the wheel of life. It's used in different coachings. But it's amazing to really look and go, okay, where am I right now? And it changes at different times of your life. And so I think about, as an individual, if you want to progress, if you want to start growing in different areas, are you taking time, to first identify, what's important to you? And so I think about when you guys are working with representatives and coaching representatives, you need to look to see, okay, what is their vision? What is their vision? What's important to them? Like, do you know what's important to them? For some people, family is a really big deal, and for some people, like for me, it was my siblings, and my dad. Like, it was really important for me to take care of my siblings. I never really had a relationship with mom. Like, that was on the top of my charge. I didn't really care, like everyone's just different. And there was just like a lot of really just nasty things. My mom's just not a good person, and I just, a lot for me was like motivation to like support and help my dad and help my siblings. And so that was something I really cared about. And so I worked really hard to be able to provide cool experiences for them, be able to like make my dad proud, like accomplishing and doing good things, even through all the crap that we've gone through. And so you need to know, when you're working with people, and that's something that even with you guys, as we're talking to you guys, as you're talking to your DMs, as you guys talk to Spencer, talk to myself, like we want to know, like, what is it that excites you? What is it that you're working towards? What is it, that we can help you with? Because we want to help you get there, and if we don't know what it is you want, we don't know what it is you want to gain, well, we can't ever help you get there, So think about, for you guys with GCLA, what is this vehicle for you? What is it going to provide? For me, I wanted to run a branch because I wanted to have the know-how of starting a business. Like, I wanted to have that. It's not easy to start a company, and I wanted to do it in a place where there was very little risk. There was a lot of upside. There was a lot of support, and there was a product and people that I believed in. And I was really excited about that, versus being bored out of my mind, doing a million projects in school that were absolute bull crap, like, to my degree. Like, some of those classes, I ran a branch, I could run them, and so anyway, find out, what is it that your people, like, what's their vision? Are you properly set up? Do you have a schedule that's set up to support what you want to do? And I think about, for those who want to run a branch, guys, there's different components of it. Personal sales is an aspect that shows that you can be a consistent performer. Some people are really crazy and they're athletes and they have like other stuff, or high school season, they have a lot of stuff going on. We get that. We understand it. And it's like, hey, when it's go time, like right now, you can jot down, in 2 weeks, October 24th, in 2 weeks, we have the Olean Push. Cool. So 2 weeks from now, it'll start, and it's for 2 weeks. And this is region-wide. The whole nation does this, each region. And each region goes up to Olean and does the push countdown in front of all the executives, and they see like every single region and what their reports were. They watch every different region and what their what their people did, what the top performers did. And this is stuff that stands out. Like, they always take note of these things. So what can you do? Maybe you're not able to work much, and even when I was out, but it's like those 2 weeks, like, I'm going to set myself up to be a little bit more clear, to do a little extra. And even if a little extra means 2 extra demos, then awesome. Maybe you're not doing any, you're like, I'm not working during the school year, but during those 2 weeks, you're like, I'll get 5 to 7 done, virtual demos or whatever, because I'm not able to, wherever you are in the United States and you're not able to go out and do live demos, get some virtual demos, whatever it is, getting it done. And then just having accountability, so are you guys holding yourselves accountable? Do you have someone holding you accountable? And I think it's good to have people in different circles, that you're working with and towards. And so someone that's pushing you, that looks up to you. Do you have people who have the same goals as you do? And then do you have someone above you, whether it's your DM or myself? Those of you who are serious about running an office next summer, and we're going to be narrowing down and be talking to people this next week, I already narrowed down my list to my top 30 out of 112. Cool. I have my top 30 list. And I'm going to be talking to you guys. Some of you guys are not on it. Some of you guys are. And we'll be talking about where you're at right now and what you need to do to move the needle. And by the way, anyone who's really serious about wanting to go out there and run an office, you can have a spot, like, there's going to be extra spots. There'll be extra spots all around Texas. There'll be spots all over the US. Like, we can always, like, if people are ass kickers and they're doing the right things, like Lloyd's like, I'm going to find them a space. We'll create space. We'll give away more territory. He's like, I'm going to create a floating division. He was telling us this in DC. And then, like, whatever division has the most people, I'm going to give them that floating division. And it's going to be random offices from all over that's all going to tab for their division, But he's like, we want people who are serious about growth, who want to learn, who want to develop. And that's really, really important, that we take that serious. And as I was saying here is just, the visualizing, right? What is your dream job? What are you working towards? Are you guys doing this with reps? Do you know this about your people? And again, because once you know what it is you want to do, then you can connect the dots. Like, somebody's like, oh, I want to have my own therapist. I want to be an orthopedic surgeon. Or I want to be a physical therapist. I want to have my own practice, whatever they want to do. I had a girl who was like, I want to do insurance sales. It's like, all right, cool. So what are all the things we can do to help you stand out? It's about standing out. You're going to an interview. You're trying to get into a medical program. You're trying to get into a law school. There's a lot of qualified people applying, okay? And a lot of the most elite programs jobs only take a small percent. They only take a certain amount. So when they're looking at, even if it's like 100 badass applications from the nation, right? Trying to get into blank firm and they're accepting 5 people, you know, like those 100 applications are usually pretty damn good. Like they went to top schools, they did all the great stuff. So it's like, what stands out? What's different? And I'll tell you guys, this is something that everybody, when they see this, they're always like, oh, wow, okay, this person did this. Because Fortune 500 companies know us. All the big guys know us. They know. By the way, multi-millionaire. He might be a billionaire. I know he's a multi-millionaire that I met a couple weeks ago in Fiji. We're talking. Guy owns so much stuff all over the East Coast. And we're talking. He's like, so what do you do? I said, have you heard of Cutco? He goes, oh, damn good knives. Damn good knives. And I was like, yeah, they're pretty awesome. I said, I started working with them when I was 19. And he goes, oh, that's awesome. And then he tells me, so what do you do? What do you do with them? What do you do for them? And I said, oh, well, I'm actually one of their sales trainers, you know? And he goes, best damn salespeople in the world. He goes, period, in the world. He goes, oh my God, do you know that? And he like starts going off with everything. And it was just so funny, but he was so excited. He was so fired up as we were going through there. And he's like, oh my gosh, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that. And he told me, he's like, Kathy, he goes, anytime we have people applying for any positions with us who have done Cutco, my guys know, my recruiters know, like they get first dibs because those guys are trained, man. They're resilient. They know how to set goals. They know how to be persistent. They know, like, they work amazing in a team. They work well on their own. He's going off, and I started laughing. I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, oh, best damn salespeople, period. You know, and that's something that he's like, we want those. And he works with, like, mortgage and realtors, and he owns a bunch of buildings everywhere, and he does rehab stuff in Carolina for addictions and like all these different things. But it was just so cool to hear that again. And I know it, and I hear it all, but I love bumping into people who are super successful. And when they hear like, oh, you work with Cutco, you work with the sales reps, you train them. Oh my God. He's like, they are the best. I'm like, I know. And again, you guys are laying such an incredible foundation for yourselves for your future. So, you know, do you know, again, what it is that you're wanting to get? Do you know what you're working towards to your people, and making sure for you guys, are you properly set up? You know, have you taken time to look at the numbers, to break down the numbers and know what it's going to take? For most of you guys, it's literally 5 to 7 demos a week. Some of you guys, it's like 4 demos a week that you need to complete consistently every freaking week, you know? And I think about, is that doable? Is it, you know, of course it is. Like, I've coached and I've done it myself as well. And it just takes discipline to actually go and do it, you know? So for you guys, are you actually getting it done, or are you, you know, making excuses as to why it doesn't happen? And so this was something that when we, you know, talked about this, I talked about this at the conference, like, you know, have you broken down your numbers, you know? Like, do you know what your numbers are? Most of you guys, and the guys in our office, we have broken them down. We know what you need to be doing to like be on track to hit your goal. Then it's like, all right, do you have a detailed schedule? You've got to have structure, guys. It's been the first month of school for many of you guys who are in school, and that's like the biggest adjustment time, and it's kind of overwhelming, but like get a set structure that you feel good that you can commit to. Don't overload it if you can't. I'm gonna do demos 3 days a week. No, do it 1 day a week, you know, or 1.5. One day you do 2 or 3 demos, and the other day you load up, and that's it. You know, pick one day that's like your demo day. Some of you guys, it literally might just be one day that you do 3 to 5, and that's it. That's all you do. And then you have your phone time or whatever it is. But have a detailed schedule that has study time, that has filling out applications, that has sorority, fraternity, football games, you know, whatever. Like, it's not ignoring those things. Even in the beginning, Jay's like, I'm gonna go to like the, I'm like, good, put it in your schedule. Like, make a schedule that you like and stick to it. You're super hesitant of like, I want to go to the games. And it was like, and by the way, that's a normal thing. A lot of people are like, you know, is it okay if I don't work on Saturday? Yeah, it's fine. Just make a schedule that hits your goals and make sure you hit it every week. All right. It's a common thing. People feel like I can't do anything else but this. It's like, you know, you can. One of the beautiful things about this is that you get the opportunity to have flexibility, to have time to do other things, but you have to map it out. And so I love that. I love that we get to make our own schedule, but it's a blessing and a curse. Okay. Because if you don't stick to it, you know, like, it's not like you're getting fired. I mean, you should fire yourself, you know, because think about it. Like, if you were your own boss, would you want you working? You know, probably not in many cases. So looking at it from that side, but I loved having the flexibility that I got to pick what I did, so have you sat down and gotten a schedule, whatever schedules for your office, put in, when are things happening? When are functions happening? When do you have your study time? Like, I remember my college schedule, like I remember what was happening. I know we had light groups on Monday and I helped with a youth group. I know on Tuesdays I had my date night, like I know on Wednesdays I went in to do phone jam and I was there for team meeting. On Thursdays, I went in for power to make sure my weekend was booked up and I went out. Thursday nights was college night. I know Fridays I slept in the evening I did like 2 demos, and Saturday was my demo day. Then I'd go to dinner at Chili's. We just did that this Saturday night with my family, and my sister was laughing. She'd remember these days? I'm like, every Saturday when I sold, we'd always go to Chili's, like 7:30 p.m. We'd eat the same crap every single week, and it was tradition. And we'd go to the movies or something, and I'd go out with my friends later at night. Or sometimes I just hung at home with my siblings. But it was like a tradition thing. One of my sisters worked at Chili's, and then the other 3 siblings would go there and get like discounts or like free appetizers, like random stuff. She just bring it up. We're like, yeah. We just tip it really good, But we had a schedule and it worked. And you know what? I earned over 10 grand in my pocket every campaign. I won a scholarship. I had fun. I was involved with everything. And like, if there was something going on, my friends were going on Saturday out on the boat, cool. Then I would do some extra demos on Friday or Tuesday, make sure I hit my 7 for the week. Because as long as I did 7 demos each week, I was going to win my scholarship, And so just knowing those things and having disciplines and being able to adjust when needed. So make sure that's happening. And last thing here, I think for you guys with accountability, it's like, are you having your weekly PC with your manager? If not, guys, you need to jot that down. You need to get a time with your DM, and then the pilot, that would be with Matt or Spencer, to make sure every freaking week you have a PC time where you're mapping out your schedule, where you're reviewing what went well, what could have gone better. Like that needs to happen every single week. And I'll be here, helping and working. I want to work a lot more with the DMCs and with our top branch candidates as we go into these next couple months. But it's really important. So are you getting a personal consultation every single week? Are you PDIing your manager? Do you, by the way, updates on you, but also on your team? I know you guys have done a great job, like Nemo, Cass. I see you guys posting all the time, like, with your new trainees. If you guys have done a really great job, keep doing that. Like the pilot, you guys need some work. Daily updates. Daily is actually every day, just so you guys know. So making sure that's happening. It's personal daily interaction. Buddy system. Again, we talked about that. Do you have people that are like, that you're either mentoring and or also going towards the same goals with and competing with, making sure that you guys are doing that properly. And then, making sure you're having those weekly evaluations. All right. We want to see you guys succeed, but you've got to set yourselves up for success. It doesn't just happen. All right. Currently right now, we'll talk about money later. I do want to show those who are leading the charge. All right. I don't know if my PowerPoint. No, I don't care. Don't send. All right. So this right here, and we were just looking at standings in terms of where we're at with money saved and showing you guys. And guys, this is a big thing for those of you guys who really want to make some moves. At a minimum, you need to be at $1,000 within the next 3.5 weeks. Like Olean, by the time we go to Olean, people need to be over $1,000. All right. Right now, you guys can see here the report. All right. Let me move this out. We've got Jacob Gordon leading the charge with $14,000. By the way, that was after taking out 20 grand a couple weeks ago to buy a car and pay for a bunch of stuff. And so he's chilling and he's got that saved for his DM office next year. We got Austin Baker, and he's still working hard over around football, everything. I know he's planning on putting more money in here. I know JD was up there and he'll be putting money back in. Ricky Garza, right shy of 2,000. Erasmo, right shy of 2,000. Jessica, great job, right just shy of 1,400. Kamani, just shy of 1,300. And then we've got a couple guys right under $1,000. I know Will had actually put in $5,000, and so I have that. So some people had given contributions. I know Angela had sent over some money. So this week, get your money in. If you need to and you're far away and you want to Venmo me, I'll Venmo you a receipt and I'll turn in a check for you from my checking account. So we can do that if needed. Ideally, you're giving me a check or a money order that's made out to Vector Marketing. Cool? To make sure that we have that go into your guys' account and make sure you guys are set up for success. All right? So that's really important that you guys take care of that. So I'm going to stop talking because we do have our guest speaker on, and I want to give him time, and I really appreciate you taking time out to be with us. And I'm not sure where the heck That one, Sebastian. But I will say this, I told you guys this earlier, just so impressive going from one summer to not knowing if he was still going to be in the business to then making a decision and taking a program into his hands that he's absolutely crushed, and a lot of the nation following those programs this year, the spring with the Jumpstart, Facebook Jumpstart, and I'll have him kind of share his story, but absolutely, crushing it. One of the top guys up in Central and leading the charge with this nationally, and he was asked to speak on the national stage, which is a big freaking deal to speak up there. So congratulations again on that. I know we're really excited to have you with us. I was talking about you earlier, Sebastian. So I'm going to hand it over to you. Everyone want to take out pen and paper because there's definitely going to be some big action items that you guys are going to want to implement like immediately. Also, lead people in the offices. If you guys can send me message with who's at the office so I can mark attendance. I need that as well to get that to Lloyd, please. Thank you. So Sebastian, floor is yours, sir. Thank you again.
All right, sweet. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool. So thanks, Kathy, for having me on the call. I do appreciate that. So it's an honor. But yeah, so I'm basically going to walk you through the Facebook program and what I do have outlined for my staff and even my branches for next summer. And the first step I'll walk you through is just cleaning up your profile. Once your territory is decided, or even now for those of you that are working in local offices, clean up your Facebook. Present your best self that a college student would add, not too professional, just have fun pictures up. Just don't make your Facebook look like an ad for Vector. That's the biggest thing. Fun, but professional. Don't have like friends on like keg stands or anything like that. Just keep it fun. The next thing you want to do, if you're in a local office, I'm sure you have a domain name with a Google Doc, a Google form with an application on there. With the application, once you make it for your branch office, buy a domain name. So that way, for ours, if you want to check it out, it's oaklawnstudentwork.com. Base it off that. You can literally just copy it straight from there. Position, description, all the questions, and a bunch of pictures from the office, from offices in the area. Pictures with you in it, I think is really important. Now, who do you want to target, and what you should do now, whether it's for your office or for the local office? For your personal branch office, start adding people now. You can look up rosters on maxpreps.com. You can go through each of your high schools. Once you figure out your territories and things like that, start adding people now. Add the best kids, add all the captains, add all the athletes, the honor roll lists. You can find all that stuff online through each school. If you're in a local office now to get that program started, start adding college kids. College kids are looking for jobs now. Go on roster, same thing, honor roll lists. You can find all the same stuff online for colleges too. So that's who I would say to target. What schools you want to target first? Your best schools, obviously. Local schools for if you're working in a local office now. Now, whether you're going to a territory that you're from, start adding those people now because those are going to be the easiest to convert. And if you're in a local office now working, add people that went to your high school because they know you. If they don't know you, they've seen you. You went to the same school, there's already a relationship built there. Then for your personal branch offices, whether you have AMs or not, pick the best schools first, disperse the rest. And the way we did it was I had Dan Hayden, huge baseball player in the area. A lot of Catholic school kids knew him. So he would literally add all the baseball players in the area that were either below him, same age, or above him. And you can find that same thing, Max Preps. You can see rosters from this year, last year, years before as well. You can find exactly who you want. When you add people, when you add somebody, you can put them onto a separate list. So make a separate list that says Facebook Jumpstart and just start adding people in there. Or you can break it down even more, where it says Facebook Jumpstart, Trinity High School, Stag High School. And then you can start adding people there. If you want to get even more organized, this is going to take more time. But you can get more organized with it and put Trinity High School baseball team, Trinity High School cheerleading team, right? Whatever you want. So that way, when the summer comes around, you're not messaging people that are in a spring sport because they have, they have sectionals, they have state, they're focused on that. They're not focused on work yet. And that way, eventually, if you're organized enough and you have the staff to do this, you can follow and keep track of what school is currently in playoffs, what school is in sectionals, and whether or not they fall off, lose a game, whatever, then you want to start messaging those people. But the first schools that you do want to mention as a branch are obviously the students that aren't in a sport currently. Everything is laid out on the Facebook Jumpstart page. So whether you're in a local office working now or you're working for your branch, get on the Facebook Jumpstart. Watch the videos. The whole program is outlined for you. Any objections you have, search them up. I guarantee you someone this summer got the same thing. And you just follow exactly what is laid out for you, and it's only going to get better. Today I posted for them to make a huge document with all the objections, what to message, etc. So they're working on that now, but literally everything is on there. Look up what you need to find and you'll find it on there. What to do now to build social media relationships. The first thing, once again, start adding your best students in the area. Like all their stuff. Post things that are funny, that are cool, right? Don't post anything, same thing with like when you're pre-screening. You don't want to talk about you don't want to post about the weather, politics, same thing that you don't want to talk about when you're seconding interviews, right? Same thing. But post fun stuff, add people, like all their comments, or like things on your page, like things on their page, right? Don't be a creep. Don't go back months or years. Don't be a weirdo, but add current things. Say happy birthday every day. You can see whose birthday it is. Just literally happy birthday, copy and paste it to everybody. It's going to create that relationship. Once again, easier touch to launch when you have that relationship. Planning who you want to message first. Once again, do not message people in the summer or when your summer's starting. I would say you want to start messaging 4 weeks before your gold period. And if you have an office open or not, you can run Skype interviews. You can run interviews in your local DM's office, right? Fran O'Malley, she would run virtual interviews from her school, either over the phone or Skype, before her summer opened up. So that way she set them for training, and her May was the biggest May, one of the bigger Mays that we had in the Central region. Just because of that, she started getting good people through the door. And then PR changes just happened from there. Start PR chains with the athletes that, once again, aren't in spring sports. So whether they're in a fall or whether they were in a winter sport, start messaging those people first once your summer starts. For now, for those that are in local offices, once again, literally just add people from the community colleges. They're looking for jobs. They're broke. They're starting to lose all their money from the summer. Just start adding, and then you can literally just start messaging those people. They're desperate for a job. A lot of places aren't hiring anymore. Schedule. For us, and what I would strongly suggest, right after PDI every morning, send your 50 messages out. Same time every day, Sunday through Wednesday. Facebook doesn't allow you to send too many messages in 24 hours, so you have to have that 24-hour interval. Whether you're doing it, for us, it was in the morning from 9 to 11. I gave them 2 hours, even though some AMs did it in 30 minutes, right? Give yourself 2 hours max. Facebook message 50, first thing you do in the morning, do the replies after. The people you message, put them into a separate Facebook friend list of maybe messaged. So that way, let's say you run out of people to message and you don't have time to add because your summer's gonna get crazy. You can re-message the people you already messaged, just a follow-up message to see if they're interested or if they found any other work, etc. But it's the first thing we did, Sunday through Wednesday. Once again, the scripts are all on the Facebook Jumpstart page. Just use that, the follow-up message, by the way, where that one's crucial. It's all laid out in the document, but it is crucial to send that follow-up message because that creates urgency.
By the way, if they want to get on the Facebook Jumpstart now, where do they go to find that?
There's right at the top, there's a fax. It's literally all on there. Everything's outlined. There's a whole Facebook Jumpstart document.
Cool.
If you don't have it or can't find it, I can email it to you.
No, I have it.
Cool. And then if they're interested or not, have them share your post. So this is something I missed, but every morning before your staff starts messaging people, have them post a status saying you're hiring. So that way, if they're interested or not, they can share your post. We've gotten plenty of touches, plenty of launches, literally just from people sharing the post and someone else applies. Thursday through Saturday, ideally, you want to add and have 200 friends accepted. So that way, Facebook Jumpstart doesn't end. It keeps going throughout the whole summer. One of my branches, Fran, she ran out of people to message. Her 10K fast starter came from someone she literally added. When she ran out of people, messaged right away because she didn't have time to build that relationship. 10K fast start. How to convert people once they apply. On the Google form, you can send a email that once someone applies, it'll email you right away if someone applied. Have that Facebook Jumpstart or have the Google form with everyone that applies right there so you can see it. You can schedule the people right away. If you're familiar, we used to get iApps. If you guys have Conveyor, like it gets scheduled automatically, but now we have Conveyor. So you want to treat a Facebook app just like an iApp where once they come in, you text them right away. Shows urgency, shows that the business is going, and it's just a lot more efficient that way. So all my AMs in the staff, they would get an email notification once someone applied, and someone would schedule that person right away. For us, it got crazy this summer. We had a lot of recruits. I got a separate phone. I don't think this is necessary unless you're in a high-power office, but a separate phone was literally just for Facebook messaging or Facebook scheduling. So someone would always have that phone in the office. Whoever is done messaging for the day, let's say an AM needs a second or needs to run another interview because you're falling back behind schedule, whatever, make sure someone fills in for them for the Facebook messaging. That way, no matter what, it gets done. Once someone applies and you get them scheduled for an interview, put them in Vector Live right away. This is something I didn't mention in SLC, but we're playing around it now. We're getting pretty decent shows, but when we schedule them in Vector Live, we're also like texting them a confirmation with the picture of the office, so that way they don't get lost. And they can see what the building looks like. I know Vector Live, you can get it set up that way, but we're getting pretty good results from that. Advanced Training 1, for us, this wasn't like a huge program, but when I did do it, I had awesome results. Advanced Training 1, if you didn't have time for Rep Driven, we would just have them post a status on Facebook. I'm sure Kathy's going to explain like the triple threat. So that's part of it, posting a status on Facebook. Some extra nuggets now that you can do when you start adding people. Add your snap.
Why should they get on this now? What can they, like, how is this going to benefit them? I mean, obviously we know in the spring and going into their offices, but starting now, I know you and I talked about that.
Yeah, so starting now, why do you want to do it? I mean, you guys need AMs, right? So right now, all my AMs, I need them to have AMs for their branch offices. So I'm like, find good kids now. We're going to get PRs from them. They're going to be your AMs, right? You guys want good AMs, right? Let's get them now. People are looking for work now, and guess what? You get good kids from your best schools now, even college now. They know people that are going to graduate in May, right? When they know people that graduate from May, it's just a huge PR chain that's never going to die down. You got them now. Like I have kids now that want to start, but they're not old enough. from people starting last summer, and they like either got messaged or they came through the door. I'm like, hey, unfortunately, I can't hire you, but next summer we'll be here. We're killing it. Apply that. Mess up on Kathy's dollar right now. I'm sure like she tells you guys this all the time. Mess up now, so that way when you run your branch office, you're not gonna mess up. You're gonna learn through mistakes. Like that's what my AMs know. I'm like, mess up on my cash now, mess up with my people now, so that way you don't mess up with yours, and your efficiency is a lot higher. Your efficiency is a lot higher. Imagine having like what Ivan Keller had, 12 10K fast starters this summer. And those are the kids that you're going to recruit off Facebook Jumpstart. So do it now. Mess up with Kathy's dollar now. You're going to get recruits. She's going to give you AMs for your office that are going to be trained, and you're going to be in a way better place.
Cool.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah. Any other like tips and keys, or we can open up here? So I know I really liked it. You were talking about 50 messages each morning, just like not Monday through Wednesday. So you just get those out. So for AMs right now, who obviously they don't know the territories right now. So once territories, that'll be closer to December. Some people might know in November. December is where we make most of the decisions between December and January. And by second week of January, everybody will know, or January 10th, everyone will know where they're going. So they can start crushing it then for their territories. So what you're saying is doing this now, who should they be targeting right now? Just the people in their area, their best schools, their sports teams. Who do you recommend they be friending right now and adding to their social media groups?
And this is to help out the local office?
Right, I'm saying now, before they find their offices in January, correct. Who should they be, what groups should they be focused on? What are you doing with your AMs?
Yeah, my AMs, they're focused on the community colleges in the area and the universities that are 30, 45 minutes away.
So if you have multiple people that go to the same school, how are you guys divvying it?
So I have, that's a good question. So if they go to the same school, I'm separating certain AMs through sports, and then they just add their mutual friends. So like when you add someone, you can see someone's mutual friends, add them directly. So I have like 2 people that go to Meridian Valley. One is simply just adding straight like football people, wrestlers, because that's what he played. So you just add all the community college that he goes to, all their football players, all the wrestlers, and the other person's adding more of like the honor roll kids, the more like theater.
Studious.
Yeah. So we're dividing it that way. That's our only school that's really conflicted, but that's the way that we did it with that school, and it's working pretty well. We haven't had any double messages. If people get double messages, it's not the end of the world. Like they're still gonna get reached, and they might even convert just because they got messaged twice. And they're like, oh, okay, maybe I should do this.
So Facebook allows you to make up like new groups, like in the friends?
Yeah, so it's a Dropbox where you send the request, and then it'll say add to new list. And then when you add to a new list, it'll allow you to do that.
That's great. You can track people.
Mm-hmm. And that way you know how many people are adding and accepting and so forth.
All right. That's a big thing. I would do that.
Yeah.
Which I knew before. That's my big takeaway. All right, cool. So I can create friend lists. And so when you add them, you can automatically put them to a certain group.
Yeah. And then when you message them, you put them to a message group.
Nice.
That way you're not scrolling through who to message and wasting time.
Love it. Sweet. Other questions from you guys, or any clarity on like how to get this thing going now? I mean, I took notes. I had my questions. Somebody else?
Did you say you're going to send like an email or like a fax, like how to actually, sorry, that was probably really loud, like how to get it up and going, like how to set it up?
Yeah, actually something I wanted to, where's my whole, oh, here we go. I wanted to share real quick so you can look at, is this what you had just like this sheet, or do you have something else, Sebastian?
Yep, that's it. And
Okay.
It'll.
So even though it says spring 2017, this is the same thing that they can just text Facebook Jumpstart to that number still, and it'll start them from the beginning.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So there's 6 different lessons on this. So you guys can jot this down. You're gonna text hashtag, those who haven't done this yet, FB Jumpstart. All right, all one word. You're gonna text that to 206-800-7708. And I will include this with the documents you guys will get from this prep. But that's what you want to do, is text hashtag FB Jumpstart, all one word, to 206-800-7708. All right. So awesome. Any other questions that you guys have? And I know Ricky also posted the Facebook group. And I think once you text there, they like add you to that group, right, Sebastian? I think that's the process.
I'm not sure. I know that you can manually add people.
Mm-hmm.
I just automatically got to it because I wanted to jump on the program.
Mm-hmm.
I added all my staff members on there.
Okay, awesome. So we can just add whoever and then they'll get approved.
Yeah.
Sweet. By the way, this is huge. And can you, to wrap up, can you share like what this did for your business from last year to this year?
Yeah, so last year was pretty rough. I think we did like 155,000 total. This year we got 17 recruits, so 57,000, but the PR change just exploded from there. 3K PPR. My branch, this was huge for her. Nine people recruited or launched, and they sold. I believe it was, she had a 9K PPR, so 80 grand or whatever that was. Huge. Half of her summer just from Facebook Jumpstart, and it was 2 10K fast starters. One person left after the fast start, but is coming back now and wants to DM because he's bored and doesn't want to go to school. So she's got a DM coming up in May, literally just from this program. So huge for her summer. I know she's excited to develop people in the area and even explode from there too.
That's awesome. And for you guys, what did the chains, like what did you guys produce this year? Where were we at in sales?
We're at 680,000 for the year. Number 3 in the nation in our category. And it's just the culture in the area just from social media, is creating a buzz where it's like, oh, I want to be a part of the Oaklawn Legacy. Like we're on campus and people are like, oh, that's the Oaklawn Legacy. Oh, my friend worked there. Oh, I heard about it through this. And now it's that buzz where like we pretty much all the schools that we want to get into, they know about us and they want to work here. And that's huge just because we hit it hard. We created those relationships. We're getting people to follow us. We're getting people that want to apply, and it's awesome. We're in every single private school. We're in every single public school. And next year's going to be huge.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Anybody else? Anything else before Sebastian rolls?
This is a little nugget I'll leave you guys too with. On your Facebook, you can add like your Snapchat username. You can add your Instagram username, Twitter on your little bio. And when people add you, they might even add you on Snapchat. They might even add you on other pages. So they'll see that you're a real person posting content. And then when on your Snapchat, you post pictures of your chucks, post pictures of fun activities, you can add a link, swipe up to apply, and you're going to get touches from there. Even from Snapchat alone, I think we generated 80K this summer. Just from people.
Does that work on Snapchat? I'm like retarded with social media. You can add a link.
Yeah, so on Snapchat, there's a little clipboard or a little, and you can just click that and then it'll let you add a link on there. And then they swipe up and they can go straight to the position description, straight to your Google form, and they can apply right there. I remember one team meeting, we had 25 applications. It was crazy.
Who can show me that? All right, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. This is great. So if you guys can give them a round of applause. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Appreciate it a ton. Awesome. So that was great stuff. So we're going to take 3 minutes to stand up, jump around, do whatever you want to do. I want to see that on Snapchat. Show me. And then we're going to dive
Somebody needs to show me that too. I don't know how to do that on Snapchat.
Tay, you are all the way in Mississippi. How's anyone here going to show you?
Excuse me. Excuse me. It doesn't matter.
I do not need the sass.
Hey, by the way, all of you guys right now in your offices, look at your, I need everyone to look at, some of the guys were doing it earlier, look at your actual perk section of your interview. I'm going to call on people randomly. I still need full attendance. Did someone from College Station text me yet? Because I haven't gotten a list of attendance. So if I can get the attendance over there, I mean, I see Sebastian, I see Eric, I see Blair. But if I can get a list of who's over there, I need a list for who's down in Corpus. And then anybody else who's on, I got Sabrina and Shane who are over at the San Antonio campus. Beautiful. And then I've got a bunch of loners. Text me so I know that you are rocking and rolling. So we're using the bathroom real quick, and then we are back on it. So stretch, look at your perk section, say it 2 or 3 times because you might be called randomly, and then you don't want to get a bad grade.
And everybody's watching her, but she's looking at you.
We don't want you guys to get behind because you don't have a local office. Because we've had people train while they were in Spain. People train, studying abroad in Israel and London, different places. And it's just taking time to make sure, like, whether you run one literally for your pillow, and it's just, I told my guys, I'm like, just say 10 times. You want to say your pre-screen 10 times. You want to say your intro to the video 10 times. Then it's a video that does everything. Then you want to get your perks. Your perks is one of the most important parts to closing, and so I wanted to walk through real quick. So anybody, you can unmute yourself or go through. What is your objective? Can we close the door that they're in or turn that down, please, JD? Pre-screen. What is the objective of the pre-screen? Anyone? Raise your hand or comment on the computer. You can raise your hand. Purpose of the pre-screen. What is it? Jay. Okay. So Jay says to see if they're qualified for the position. What else? Michaela. Michaela?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, my dog logged me out of everything.
That's cool. What's the purpose of the interview? Or the pre-screening, excuse me. Hire people. What's the purpose of your pre-screening?
To gain a connection with the people that you're interviewing.
Cool. That's a great way to explain it. Christine?
To see how easily they can talk to you, and see how they would be able to communicate with others, and to see the connections.
Okay. Just so you guys know, your objective of your pre-screening, all right, is to make sure that they know the process and to establish a connection with them. Cool? Like that's what you're, and by the way, part of that, make sure, I'd say there's 3 parts because they want to know the process, like what is happening right now, right? Why are these people here? So making sure they know the process. Then we want to make sure, let me mute all. All right. Yeah, there we go. So you want to make sure they understand what's happening, what's the process, why the other people, sometimes the second man has told them some stuff, but hey, just so you know, right now we're just screening through applications, getting a feel for who's here. So you just want to make sure they're qualified. Can you communicate effectively with them? Even if they might not have the best communication skills, do they understand what you're saying? Are they coachable? Because there's people that obviously we want to have on our team and build our organization with, and then we also know that there's some people that we give a chance to, all right, that we give an opportunity to. And so we know there's both of those. So sometimes there's people that you're like, oh, they can't, but are they answering questions properly? Can they understand you, even though you don't understand the whole? Now, if you ask them, hey, do you like working with people? And they're like 7. You're like, oh, or if you're like, hey, rate yourself 1 to 10 on your, and they're like, no. Or yes, or like if you're like, no, I asked a rating, not a yes or no question. If you're having trouble communicating, that's somebody that I'm like, all right, I might ask a couple more things and say, well, hey, I'm going to pass this along to my district manager, or to my divisional manager. And if they need you back for a formal interview, you'll hear within 24 hours. Is the best number to reach you? Okay, awesome. Well, hey, best of luck. We need you back for a second interview. You'll hear within 24 hours. And see you later, bye. All right. But we want to find a reason to keep people. As you guys are going through the pre-screening, if you're doing this job properly, you want to find a reason to keep people. Like, we're in the opportunity business. We're here to grow people. We're here to develop people. Many of you guys, your lives will be completely different because of someone giving you a shot here, what you've gained from this. I know this was life-changing for me 15 and a half years ago. So are you being that person that completely changes someone's life, because you give them a shot? So again, there are the people we want. They're the people we know will bring. They have past experience and success. They've been part of teams. They've been part of groups, like great grades, top student, whatever it is. And we know they're going to bring great attributes. And there's other people who are hungry for a shot that other people might not give a shot to. And we do want to give people a shot. But we want to make sure that they really want it. They're going to put in the effort, If they're just like, yeah, I don't know, I need a job, and they're just like not putting in any effort, like, I'm not going to keep that person. But, if they're just like sitting up, trying hard, answering questions, even if they might not look at the most qualified person, but they're really giving 110%, I'm going to give them a shot. I'm going to give them a shot to go through the group and learn about it. And then we'll go from there. So in the pre-screening, I want to make sure they understand the process. I want to make sure that they're qualified, right? I want to establish a connection with them. And part of that is knowing, like, what they've done, what they've succeeded in, and asking them, hey, are you looking for something long-term? Are you looking for part-time or full-time? Or are you looking to add to what you currently have or possibly replace it? You want to know who you're talking to. That allows you to connect with them, because then when you give examples or later on in the post or when you do the perks section, you're able to use an example to help recruit that kid. Because when I talk about our guys love, they can make our own schedules. Like David, he plays basketball, playing team over at UH, he has practices, his goal is to be in the NBA, and like, he loves that, like, he can make his schedule so that he has his time to train, he has his time to work on his sports, he has his time to do school, he helps in the office, and he really loves that he gets to make that schedule. And that kid's like, oh my God, he plays basketball like me. And so, when I use examples in my perks, I'm very intentional. This is more advanced. When you get to be a great recruiter, you know how to connect with people and you know how to recruit the kids you want, because the examples you share are people just like them. When someone goes, that's like me, boom, they establish a connection. They're more apt to want to be around. Okay. So that's a really big thing. So do you know who you're talking to? If I have a single mom with 3 kids who's working hard, and she's applying for the job, I'm gonna tell her what we do, but I'm gonna say, hey, by the way, and I want to let them know, you're going to notice a lot of young people. We have a very large student work program, but we also have our professionals. We have moms like Susan Saunders, who's raised her 3 kids for over 20 years, has been earning a 6-figure income around her kids' schedules. And it's pretty phenomenal. People who do this around, traveling, other businesses, whatever they do. We have our Fair and Show program, we have our realtor program, and we have our district manager position, which is someone who's more wired like a teacher that really likes to coach and work with younger people, because they're going to be coaching primarily our student program, and they're like, oh, wow, that's great. But like, I want to be able to connect with them. What is it that they're looking for? Because I'm not going to be able to connect the job with them if I don't know what they're looking for, if I don't know what excites them, so that's where you're looking at the application. What have they done? What do they do? What are they looking for? All right, cool. Just to get a feel and just letting them know the process, what's happening. So when I just went through the screening process, you let them know a little about the company. And hey, what I'm about to do is I'm going to show, I'd like to keep you for the second portion, which is more of an informational session for you. That's going to go through the details of the job. It's going to go through 5 major segments of like how the job works. And then afterwards, I'll go through some specific perks to our office, our organization, and we'll go from there. So it'll take about 30 videos, about 20 minutes or so, but it'll take about 40 minutes through the whole process. I can meet with you afterwards, answer any questions you have, and have a final job decision for you. Okay. So I'm assuming you put aside that time today, or whatever, different versions in there, but just like, all right, awesome, like I have a couple other people to meet with, or I have one more person to meet with, and then we'll get started. All right. So they'll grab a seat and then you grab the next person. So pre-screen, you just want to make them feel comfortable. All right. So make sure that that's what you guys are doing. Don't freak out. Like if you guys have someone who's more experienced than you, great. Like they're applying for a job and you have one. Don't forget that. Cool. So I remember being younger and being like, oh my gosh, you're older. Like they're looking for a job. You have one. Cool. Don't forget that. when you're sitting in the seat doing pre-screenings, running the interview. Someone wants to be a smart ass. Hey, job's not for everyone. You're welcome to go ahead and go. Someone's being a pain in the ass, giving you a hard time. Hey, Roman, it was great to meet you. I think we're all done for today. Interviews, I've got what I need. Nice to meet you. Have a great day. Best of luck. And by the way, that's very rare. I've had to do that 3-4 times in my career. Okay. So 15 years of management where somebody was just like acting up in the interview and being a smart ass or whatever. And I was just like, hey, you know what, JD, I've got all I need. Your interview's done. You can go ahead and grab your stuff and have a great day. Best of luck. And go check out with Valerie on your way out. And my staff knew if anyone ever came out and they're like, oh, they told me, like, oh, okay, well, I'll have them contact you if they need anything, best of luck. I'm sure he got what he needed for his decision or what she needed for her decision, but it's a very rare thing. That's not something you want to be practicing and doing. But if someone's like, being out of line, or disrespecting or saying stuff like, hey, we're all done for today. We can chat later if something and go from there, but I'm good. I've got all the info I need for today. So anyway, once you go through and you finish screening, now we go into introduction of the video. Cool. It's 1 page. Guys, memorize that as soon as possible. All right. At least hey, just so you guys know what we're doing. You don't be like, so what we're doing, it's okay when you're brand new, but can you just like record yourself just saying that? It's just a quick all you're doing is an overview on what just happened. So what I just went through is the screening process. When I'm going to put on a video, it's going to cover like you're just letting them know the process or highlight main words on your script. Like you can have your stuff in front of you. You just don't want to be like this. All right. You're just getting the point. Hey, we just finished this. I'm going to put on a video. It's going to go through these things. Afterwards, at the end, I'm going to go through perks of our office, and I'm going to go through final perks, and then answer any questions that you guys have. I'm going to meet with each of you. I have a form that you guys are going to follow along during the interview. At the end of each section, it's going to give you 30 seconds to answer the question. There could be multiple, it might not just be one answer. It could be multiple, but go ahead and follow along through here. Any questions that pop up, jot them down so you don't forget them, but just making sure you're introducing so they know what's going to happen. Make sure you actually do an intro. I did record myself doing an intro when I was with Nemo over at the office did we post it? I don't know. We did. Okay. So I was doing that. We were doing the intro, kind of walking through the intro, so you can check that out. But just real simple. You guys have the words to it. Just get comfortable with that. Say it 10 times. Cool. Say it 10 times and highlight main words, and you're good. That's it. Like you could stare at a wall and say it 10 times. And you guys want to, like each week when we're getting together and on your weekly preps, what you're supposed to be doing is just drilling, like going through, like saying it. Can you get to say whatever section 10 times? Some of the sections are larger, so you might only get to say it twice, that night. But your goal is to say it 10 times in the course of that week, because that's where you start getting it. Not just reading it, you have to say it. All right. Your brain holds on to more when you're actually saying it and reading it. And the more of your body is used in doing it, the more it internalizes it. Okay. So can you put your whole body into it? Go through there. Even if you're reading to yourself, read it out loud with your mannerisms. Your body and your brain is going to retain more of that. Okay. So again, the intro, it's very simple. And I'll stop real quick. For those who have ran interviews, I just want to open up. I'll unmute everyone real quick. For anyone who's ran interviews, are there any questions you know how to handle with the pre-screen or in the intro to the video? Any questions with that?
And everything now is about data, big data.
Yeah, that is a big push.
Or like scenarios that you had. Everyone's like, I'm just a pro. That's cool.
So it's a little bit different in the San Marcos office.
I want to make sure
you
guys know when things come up, like, because we meet once a month or even weekly.
It was a big
managers, you bring up, hey, this happened, I didn't know how to handle it. How about when someone comes in with like their kids and their whole family? How are you handling that? What if somebody comes in and they smell like they just hotboxed a car and then walked into your office and they just bring a whole smoke with them? How are you handling that? Like there's different things that like you need to handle properly as a manager. So it's still professional, but you're still giving people an opportunity. So how are we handling things? So Cassandra?
What would
Cassandra's first, go.
All the universities you just mentioned.
Did you get to speak with her?
I'm muting you. But I think
she's like, I'm here for interview. What can you do? How can I help you? She's like, oh, I'm here for interview.
Okay, so lady walks in with her husband, kid, and then they go sit down. Did you invite them to come in?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, when families come in, I usually bring them all in for the pre-screening, especially parents with kids and the kids applying. I always bring the parent into the pre-screening. So you guys can make a note of that. Like, don't leave the parent outside. Always say, oh, come right this way. Oh, no, it's their interview. I'm like, no, yeah, come so you know what's happening. And they like kind of see you in action with the kid, but they learn about it. So when you're explaining the job, they're both there. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'd love for you to sit around so you can listen to the group so they feel part of it versus you're trying to hide something. Cool? You have nothing to hide. You have the best damn opportunity. When parents actually learn about it, they're like, wow, this is really great. So I always have them. When it's like their spouse and their kids, I'm like, hey, if they want to sit inside, they can sit and wait, or they can, wait in the car. We're just screening the applications right now, and we'll go from there. I keep track on that because some people that are like, and then they have the family and everything, and I was just going to give them a shot. I don't want the interruption. Sometimes like the kid comes in screaming, or the parent like, we got to go, or something. I'm like, hey, if this is something you'd like, I'd like to invite you back for a formal interview tomorrow. We will be here for about 45 minutes. So just so you can plan accordingly, with the family, so they're not like waiting in the car for 45 minutes, And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. He'll go eat and come back. Great. But like, yeah, it's probably better if I come tomorrow. Versus like they have an antsy kid, antsy husband who wants to get home and have dinner already, or, whatever it is. You just want to be conscious of that. All right.
Would you say that you preschool them first?
Yes, I will screen them first. I want to get them the heck out. I don't want families all like hanging out and having a party in the room. So yeah, if anyone comes in with an entourage, I pre-screen.
Maybe her time in this was not at
Gordon?
the right time. I mean, she was at the right time with.
I don't know who's like going off.
She did some major moves. When
I had a question, but who's talking?
Yo, whoever's talking, can you stop?
A student to remain.
Who is that? I don't even know who that is.
And I had all these youngsters in
Oh,
school.
yeah.
I had 4 years.
Does anyone have any idea who that is?
School, and I said, that little $300 a month for a advisor.
No idea.
I couldn't do that. But,
Mute everyone and then.
Hello? Looks like it was wherever Matthew was, because that's where it became quiet. All right, Billy.
So I actually kind of had this come up the other day in my first interview. There was one guy, obviously too old for the job. I didn't have like the proper verbiage in how to tell it.
You guys know, you just want to be very like open with what we do, which I believe I sent that to you guys, but I can send it. You just let them know what we do. Exactly how it works. So I'm like, I go through the same description you give to everybody, and I go, so how it works exactly, it's direct sales. So our representatives start off with friends and family. We don't provide leads for them. So for anyone who's 25 years plus, I always tell them the basics, definitely 30 plus, like they're a professional coming in with a resume, whatever. I want to make sure they know the job, what we have available. So I'm like, hey, so just so you know how everybody starts in our company, it's an entry-level customer sales and service position. All right, let me just mute everybody, and I'll unmute you, Billy. So everybody starts off in the same position. It's direct sales. So we actually meet with the customer, kind of like a realtor. So that's the analogy I always use, kind of like a real estate agent. So it's all professional appointments, either in home or over the computer. We don't provide leads. They start off with friends and family to get comfortable and confident with the products and the presentation. And then it's all friends of friends of friends. They build their own clientele through word of mouth advertising. So they don't actually work in the office unless they're doing their appointments on the computer at the office. It's really up to them. Like I said, like a realtor, they're out in the field working with customers face to face. Now, were you looking for more of an office job, or is direct sales something that you're interested in knowing more about? That's exactly what I say. And the lady today, she's like, oh, I was looking for an office job. She's like, oh, but this sounds great. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm going to give you a pamphlet, check through. If anything changes, or maybe you're like, oh, I'd be excited about doing that for some extra part-time income. Hey, would love to talk more details. And she was like, all right, perfect. So I let them know what we do. And I just go, hey, is that something you want to know more about? And sometimes they go, yeah. All right. And I give them 2 options. I go, hey, we're going to start right now in a couple of minutes. We're going to go through a video. It takes about 30 minutes to go through all the details. Afterwards, I can meet with you and answer any questions you have. I said, that's one thing. I go, or I can give you this benefit to take home. You can do some further research, check out the website. And if you definitely want to come in, we can set up a different time to sit down and cover details. What would work better for you? Most that are serious, stay. And those who are not, like, oh, I'll just take it and look over. I'm like, perfect. All right. And I leave that kind of up to them. So anyway, I want to give everyone an opportunity. And for the person who's like, oh yeah, I want to know more. And I have those people who are 50, 60, like, oh, I want to know more. I'm like, awesome. or younger, and I let them know, I go, hey, by the way, you're going to hear a lot of the student perks. There's also a lot of advancement opportunity for our professionals. We're looking to build our realtor program, people who actually do closing gifts with realtors and other people that own businesses. We're looking to expand our fair and show program. You've ever been to like a boat show or a home show and there's like people with booths selling products? So we have a whole group that does that and services customers who own Cutco already. So they're like kind of in our servicing department. And we're also looking for managers, people who are excited about actually running their own business in a building like this, an office type building, and they're primarily working with college students. And so they need to be wired more like a teacher and enjoy coaching and teaching, because that's what they do. And they work with our young professionals. And they're like, oh, that's great. I'm like, so yeah, you're going to hear the details and then we'll talk. But just so you know, there's a lot of room for advancement as well if you're looking for something long-term. So I want to let people know who are older, like you're going to hear a lot about the student stuff, but just so you know, there's also a lot of room for growth, okay? Because we can lose some amazing people who are in their 30s, who are in their 40s, who are in their 50s, who are in their 70s, and they're just looking for something to do, you know, and they're just so fun. And I've met some of my guys who had offices, like top reps that were in my office in Miami. We had 2 moms, you know, and they were like in their 50s and they just like loved Cutco and they're just like, this is the best, you know, and they sold with their kid too. And like their kid sold and they sold. Matt Bell Roberts, his dad is a sales rep. By the way, if you don't know that, Mickey Bell Roberts is a sales rep. He sells Cutco, loves it. All right. So, Matt. But that's a big, yeah, like, so just because somebody's not 18 years old doesn't mean they can't sell Cutco. So anyway, you want to make sure you're giving people that.
So the question was kind of like, it wasn't just that he was too old. He wasn't qualified for the job. And I didn't really know the verbiage on how to like,
and by the way, you guys
not
just, anytime you accept and you say, hey, everything looks good so far, I'm going to pass this along to my district manager. And then if they need you back for a formal interview, you'll hear within 24 hours.
Okay.
That's it. And you say, hey, thank you so much for coming in. Great to meet you. Have a great day. So anytime you're not accepting, you just say, hey, everything looks good so far. I'm going to pass this along to my district manager. And then if they need you back for a formal interview, we'll go from there. All right. And that's it. Make a note on it and make sure you talk to whoever your district manager is, because I know in some cases when people were doing stuff, I was like, you need to give these people a chance and explain this properly. Why didn't you accept them? Oh, they didn't smell good. Or then whatever. And I'm like, then reschedule them for tomorrow. All right. Like that person who came in smelling like all week. I'm like, hey, when they come in, it's like, hey, you know, like I want to start over tomorrow. Be like, just so you know, if I had to make a decision right now, just from the way you walked in and whether it was you or whatever was happening in your car prior, it's a very strong scent that's not super professional and you're applying for a job. And so I'm cool restarting tomorrow. If you'd rather come back, you know, maybe in a different car, bring a notebook and a pen, be ready to go. I'm more than happy to have you back for a formal interview. I've done that and they've come back and some haven't because they were embarrassed. That's fine, but I'm still going to like try to give them a shot, but I'm not going to have that person sit in my group office when they're stinking up the whole freaking place. You know, like that's not cool either. So anyway, we'll chat more about that. So that's pre-screening, and any other people that you have like specific scenarios you didn't know how to handle, like shoot them my way. Like you guys have access to me right now. Email is the easiest form of communication for me. Text messages, voice memos work as well. All right. But shoot me an email with what happened. Shoot me, anyone who has an iPhone. We have like, you know, voice memo, and you can just send a voice memo and talk out whatever the heck happened. Any questions that you have. Obviously you have your DMs, but you guys can run stuff by me, especially those who are serious about running an office next summer. Utilize me. I'll know you're serious if you're communicating at a higher rate, you know, you're bouncing stuff off. You're giving me weekly updates. Like I want people, like when I think about us going after next summer, next year, and building a kick-ass Silver Cup division, like we will win a Silver Cup in the next 3 years. No matter how soon. Can we win it next year? We could. We could win new business, total Silver Cup. We could win Elite 8 Silver Cup. We could win. We can't win total business yet. We don't have the layers of CSP to compete with some other, but I mean, we're growing pretty quick. It could be possible. I could see us competing for total the next year. But the fact is, it could be 5 years before we even won a Silver Cup, or never if we don't have the right people who are focused, who like want to grow and like kick some butt. And so I want people, I know that in order to succeed at high levels, you've got to communicate. You've got to ask questions. You know, you can't be like too good to ask. That's how you stunt your growth, is when you don't ask questions. You know, like I've heard people like, oh, I feel like I was supposed to know that. I felt dumb asking. you know, and I know that was me at some points where I was like too proud to ask because I should have known the answers already, or I felt I should have known the answer. The fact is, anytime you're unsure, anytime you want clarity, or you just want to hear it again, you know, like ask, send an email and say, hey, I really need help with this. I wasn't sure about this, or hey, can you like review this again with me, to make sure you guys are feeling super confident. All right, that's really important. Then the video finishes. All right, so when the video ends, that's where you're coming in to go through the perk section. All right, and so this here, let's go. Matthew, why can't I see your face? Let's see here, over in Kingdom Mars. Can I have Jessica? Can you do your perk section, please?
Hey. My computer fell asleep. Give me a second.
No problem. Just get in front of the one that's recording and someone give her, script.
It's not open.
Here you go.
But they're supposed to be personalized.
Yep.
I don't have a personalized one that I actually use. I just use the one because I haven't had the time around school and everything to get it done. I was going to do it this.
You know, to personalize it, it'll literally take you 5 minutes. 10?
Yeah, it took me 10 minutes before this call.
15 if you're like super reword everything and you have this long amazing story of like what Cutco's done to change your life, and you're talking way too much if it took you that long. So just so you all know, like Billy said, it took him 10 minutes. It won't take you long. Just sit down and do it. That's it. Just sit down and do it. And I would say when we finish up tonight, like just sit and make sure you add, because that personal touch helps you connect with people, you personally connect, as well as build up the organization and the office they're going to be in. So that's really important that you guys are building that up properly, because people want to be there. They want to be a part of that, you know? And so I think that's really important. So go ahead, do what you've been doing.
Do you want me to read the whole thing?
Yes, ma'am. Or just start reading and I'll stop you when I stop you.
Okay, well, those are the details of the position. Before I meet with each of you for your final one-on-one, I want to share a few perks of the job and what we are specifically looking for here in the Corpus Christi office to make sure it's a good fit on both ends. I believe our position actually offers 4 incredible perks. The first one I'd say is the sample program. Not only do our reps love the fact that they can borrow and use the products while working with us, they also have the discount they get if they want to purchase it, which most of our reps do. Our reps get about an 80% discount and can purchase their $450 sample kit for about $89. So that's pretty sweet. The second one.
Stop there real quick. So I want you guys to check this out. By the way, I sent this to you all. And that was actually because Jacob, when we were reviewing it, one of the things we added, the 5th perk, was just like the support system. And I want you guys to make sure you all have that. But I had emailed this to you guys and making sure you're utilizing this. So I'm going to, if you're looking at the computer, you guys can see it right here. You guys should have it up. But it says, hey, those are the details, you know, of the position. Before I meet with you, you know, for your final one-on-one, I want to share a few perks of the job, you know, specifically here in West Houston, what we're looking for here to make sure it's a good fit on both ends. So I believe our position offers 5 incredible perks. And so the first one we added is the support system, which is a huge perk, you know, that really the video doesn't talk a ton about. I mean, it mentions it, but I think that that's something worth re-hitting. So we're like, so first is our support system. So our representatives have a 2-day training program that's recognized and used by schools across the nation, and they get that free of charge. You know, there's a different additional trainings that are offered in their first week to help lay a stronger foundation. There's workshops that are offered weekly on a local and national level. There's personal coaching sessions that they can have over the phone or face-to-face, and an opportunity to watch an opportunity to go watch an experienced representative in the field and assist, you know, like to really assist in their ongoing development. So our representatives don't have to physically check in and out daily. So this is also, by the way, right here, you're laying the ground, and this is important. So when they come to training, nothing catches them off guard. They know there's extra trainings, there's things they can be a part of, you know, there's PC, like all this stuff. They know they're checking in and out. Our representatives don't come here every day to, you know, check in and out daily. They simply just call in to clock in and out. So we do see all our representatives twice a week. I like them to know that because we review that in training. So it's not like a surprise, you know, so you're like, hey, we see all our representatives twice a week for payroll and team meeting. But our best performers take advantage of the additional workshops offered at our office, and they build relationships with our leaders. So our best HEBA are always looking to grow. So why do we want that? I mean, if you want a growth culture, I know for me, I want people that want to learn, that want to grow, that want to be the best. So I want them involved, you know, so you're planting those seeds for them to want to be involved. So those of you who do that, you're going to see people come in who are like more excited like for what's offered versus some of you guys won't talk about any of that. And then you'll be talking to somebody, and let me stop the share here. You'll be talking to somebody and then they'll be like, oh, do I have to come to that? Oh, we have something else. Oh, we have to come here twice a week. You know, like it's a negative versus like, oh yeah, like that's so awesome that there's like workshops that we can come to and like stuff. And I tell them like it's invitation, not an obligation. There's a lot of great stuff for you guys. Your first week, we have trainings that are set in place to help lay a foundation. And for anyone that's guaranteed a base pay, it's important they're going through that stuff, like period. You know, you can talk to me one-on-one with that. You're not saying that like in the group. You're just saying, hey, we have these things available. Those who succeed at highest levels, take advantage of this stuff, you know? So that's what you're going through with them. Then we go to, we keep going. So second perk is the one that Jessica just read. So third perk, Angela, go ahead and do that.
Okay, so the third perk is the pay. Just like I personalized it and just pretty much said that it's not like an hourly wage job. So you practically, whatever work you put in, that's the kind of money you'll make out of it. And so our base pay is $16 in our office, and that's what I put down.
Okay. So by the way, this part, like you guys, I don't want you guys changing a bunch of this and personalizing all this. You'll go through your stuff, like some things will be natural. The personalizing was really just more your experience at the end and like what you love about the company and your personal goals and what your office is going for, you know? Okay. So you can rewrite that section, but keep it really simple. So let's see here. Sabrina, if you can just read that out loud for me, hon. Perk number 3.
Okay. The pay, there is no ceiling as to how much they can earn. If you're willing to work hard with us, your paycheck will reflect that. Here in Vector, a lazy man will never make a rich man's pay. So I'm not sure if you have ever had a job where you work really hard and the person next to you makes the same amount of money or more. It can be pretty frustrating to be paid by the hour versus being paid for the value you bring to the hour. That's why I love our competitive pay program. Do you guys remember the base pay we have per appointment?
You guys know the video starts $15, right? So that's where we're saying, so hey, ours is actually $16. By the way, the personalized thing here, Angela, anybody else like that you personalize here, is just kind of adding if you have a personal experience. Like I can say, so I'm not sure if you guys have ever had a job before where you worked like really hard and the next person was getting paid. Like I worked at Macy's and I like folded more clothes than other people, worked harder, and I didn't get paid more for doing that, you know? And they're like, oh yeah. So like that would be where you like, you add an example of your personal experience. And especially if I see like one of my sharp kids working at a restaurant, well, then I would use a restaurant example, which I did work in a restaurant. And I'll say, oh, I don't know if any of you guys have ever like worked in a restaurant and you like had to pull tips sometimes, right? Or you like worked really hard and then the people were just like really cheap. They just didn't tip you, you know? And every waiter or waitress will be like, oh yeah, you know, because you have those times where that's happened. So I know if my sharp kids, waiter or waitress, like I'm going to use that example. If my sharp kid was working retail, I'm going to use when I worked at Macy's. And so those are, again, learning, or just using any example. You don't have to say me, but be like, how many of you guys, like one of our guys worked at the mall, you know, and he'd like work so hard, but he still got minimum wage, you know, where there was people working like the minimum and they were making the same or more because of seniority, you know, and it just like drove them nuts. And they're like, oh yeah. So they're just relating to what you're saying. Everyone with me? All right. So you want them going like, yes, like this is awesome. So you go through the pay. The fourth thing is the experience. This is a longer one. I'm probably going to cut it into 2, but we can start going through here. So Billy, go ahead and start with the experience. Yeah, you're good.
The fourth thing is the unparalleled experience. We all know that nowadays the most important thing you need to land a job in the future is experience. Not just any kind of experience, but experience that's transferable. Soft skills that apply to any job you might apply for in the future. Some skills out of many that our students learn are communication skills, time management, interpersonal skills, etc. Those who want to take their experience to the next level can apply to advance within the company. Any student can advance regardless of past experiences or longevity with us. If someone has a great attitude and exemplifies leadership skills, they can be considered in as quickly as 2 weeks with our company. Do you want me to continue?
All right. No. Great job. And then let's see here. Matthew, can you read from there? Matthew, I'm unmuting you. Hello?
Yes.
Can you read from there? Are you in a place to read? Are you in
I'm not.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just loud before. Tay, go.
All right. We have two main internships, the management and entrepreneurship internship. Management internship teaches our assistant managers in the office how to manage a business without actually running a business. They essentially run an office with our office by becoming a team leader and learning how to run interviews. The cool part about it is that they're still representatives and take advantage of the huge income opportunity we have to offer. Currently, we have blank. So if you desire quick advancement, make sure you let us know. We're always excited to bring on people who are looking to advance as our company grows.
And by the way, you guys want to talk about in every office right now we have 3 assistant manager positions open, 5 assistant managers. Like the goal is every office has at least 7. Cool? That's the goal right now. If your office doesn't have 7, subtract the number. Right now we're looking for 5 assistant managers in our Southeast office. Right now we're looking for whatever it is. If you're already at 7, how soon can you guys get to 10? You know, so we're already at a certain number, and like we're actually going backwards right now because I'm cutting back, and then we're going to be adding some other people. So it's like, hey, we're looking for 5. Because in the pilot, I always want to have 10 assistant managers, like solid people who are working and growing. So making sure that you guys are stating that for your offices currently. And then when you guys open your offices, your goal is to have 4 assistant managers. Cool? That's your goal. Can you go out with 1, 2, 3, 4 already because you get them in now and we start coaching your people? Guys, it is night and day when you actually get people trained ahead of time. It's not like surprised that Gordon kicked a bunch of people's butts and he had Roman and other people training early from like during the school year, and Mason started like now in December something, right? January program, and these guys trained, and so when summer came it was like, let's roll, and they already had people who were ready to kick it, who have belief in the company, who were tied into people who are ready to build. It's a lot easier, I promise you that. John Austin can tell you last year he's like, I'm going to save them for my office, and not hurt him. They weren't as tied in. They weren't tied in with the culture. They didn't get the bigger picture, you know? And so like, it's going to benefit. And by the way, he still did great, right? He had a 200 grade, like he did a great job. But I remember the whole first part of the summer, he's kicking himself in the butt. And he's like, why is Gordon kicking my ass? And I'm like, because he went in with a crew that started earlier, and you were trying to say it. And I'm trying to explain to you, dude, this helps you for later. And these people, you're going to go out with a crew kicking butt, and you'll get more PRs in the summer because a lot of these kids don't even, half the people we didn't even reach. The other, quarter doesn't work during the school year, and then we might work with some people and others like weren't interested, so you still have a ton of people to touch back with when it comes summertime. People are actually like, all right, I'm down to work now, so the earlier you can get people in, guys, and start training them now, the better it is for you to start like building your squad, and that's something that when there are personal friends of yours, you're building, you're going through, like we want to make sure our people are staffed. We want to see you guys go out and crush it, like your managers don't want to see you fall on your face. Makes no sense. Makes more sense to keep you in their office, but we want to let people go out who like want to do it. We really want to make sure we set you guys up as strong as possible. So anyway, just make sure you share. Don't leave that blank. Make sure you're just saying right now in our office, I know we have 4 assistant manager positions open. We're looking to next summer have an additional 5 internships available, whatever. But make sure you guys are actually giving a number. Cool. Then, and actually the part that I should have gotten you here for, Tay, is keep going through here. So the entrepreneurship, or wait, you went through that.
No, I didn't.
No, do that. Keep going.
All right, cool. We also have an entrepreneurship internship. It's our branch manager program. Representatives can apply for this program and interview with our division manager for acceptance into our leadership academy, regardless of where they go to school. Our elite management candidates who get selected to run their own office for the company receive $8,000 to help cover startup costs. They learn to negotiate a lease, balance a checkbook, and pay bills for 1 summer while being in charge of the recruiting and sales operations of hundreds or more. We have students as young as 18 years old participating for this. How crazy awesome do you think that looks on your resume to be able to say they ran their own business for $250 million company at age of 18 or 19? It's pretty awesome. Still go? Okay, cool. The experience here is unparalleled. I would not be where I am today without them taking a chance on me. Oh, can you still see me? Cool. Without them taking a chance on me. I started whenever I just got in with my freshman year of college. Got done with my first summer, and they actually asked me to go into the branch manager program. After that summer, I learned so much and gained so much from Cutco. I would not be the leader I am if it wasn't for Cutco, and I would not have the resume if it wasn't for the people that supported me, and blah, blah, blah.
Cool. By the way, you guys want to share I know, like, if you watch Tay run her interview, she gets really passionate when she talks about, like, what she gained and, like, I learned this and how much it helped me. And people can see that. That attracts people because they're excited to, like, be in a place where people are growing, be in a place where people like to work there. I mean, how many friends your age bitch about where they work all the time? Right? Like, and so to be in a place where you're like, I love the people I work with. I like where I am. I love how they teach us, how we grow, Like, that's really, like, impressive to a lot of people. I'm like, wow, I wish I could say that, And even people who are adults that I meet, and they're like, and they, like, complain about where they're at. I'm like, I love what I do. Like, I absolutely love what I do. And they're just like, wow, like, so weird. But many people are not happy with what they're doing. All right. And the best perk, is there any brave volunteer? I'm going to pick someone for the last perk here. Awesome. Caleb, go.
The biggest perk is being able to work with great people. With all the experience that I've gained with Vector, I definitely want to be the person in the position I am now. People that I work with. And as they say, you surround yourself with the right people, they tend to push you in the right direction. And honestly, I've never been more positive, motivating, and exciting people that work with. We have phenomenal organizational and great leadership. We are at GCK, which is the #2 division in our company. Our division manager is Kathy Christians, who has won 7 national championships. Our office is part of the Houston Galleria District, which is one of the big 5-pillar offices in GCK, and was run by George Geraton. He's won the first national championship 2 years ago, and last year our team had the best year ever, just shy of $1 million in sales.
By the way, I want you guys to adjust this real quick. I would say our division has been top 3 since it started 3 years ago, right? So GCK, what it is now, started in 2015. All right, so it'd be like since our division went under new management and started in 2015, we've been top 3 in the nation out of over 50 divisions, which has been phenomenal. And our goal is to keep building towards the #1 spot. And then my last name is Kristen, like the name Kristen, like a girl's name Kristen. So you all know, because everyone's like Christian, like it's Kristen. It's just spelled with a CH. But just so you all know, it's like the girl name Kristen, but it's CH. Cool? Kathy Kristen. So you all can say my name right. But yeah, so top 3 divisions since we started, or top 5 divisions since we started, because right now we're actually #5. Our goal is to finish in the top 3, but we've done a pretty spectacular job, and our goal is to keep building towards #1 spot. So, and you can say that, be like and you can even narrow it down and say, hey, our first year back, we were top 3 as a brand, under new management in 2015, and it's been exciting to see all the growth that we've had as we work towards the #1 spot, whatever that is, but leading towards what we're working towards. All right, but everything sounds really awesome, Caleb. Keep going there, Gray.
My team's excited to be part of something new. They're excited about overcoming obstacles, setting new standards, and I think that excitement is really helping them succeed both on an office level and on an individual level. Currently, we're in the fall season, and we're looking for 50 people to help us take down the record for best division in Houston history. Although we are super competitive in this office, I'm looking for someone nice, humble, down to earth, and works well with others. I honestly could really care less if they're the best salesperson in the room, because if their egos so they can't get their head to the door, I don't want them working here. They're just going to take away from what we already have. I'm sure you can tell from our pictures that we have a lot of fun. I'm sure you can tell from our trophies that we also do it right. Here in the West Houston office, what we have is a work hard, play hard mentality. We know when it's time to get down to work, but we also know when it's time to celebrate. We're committed to creating the most powerful professional and personal growth experience an individual can have while working in this office. And whether it's with Cutco or other future endeavors, we're a pretty great stepping stone. Every individual can grow that much more by the time they're done working here. whether it's just for the semester or beyond. And I think that everyone that works with me really enjoys contributing to something larger than themselves, which is why it's important that I choose the right people for the team, so we can work together as a team to achieve the results.
All right, awesome. And then we go into the PRs. So PRs there, let's see here. Can I have Eric, College Station? Can you go through and transition to the end and getting PRs, please? You are live. Just talk.
Couple last things you to fill out on this sheet. As I mentioned, you're kind of some help.
Can you guys put the computer closer to him, or can he come closer? It's low. All right, go.
Couple last things for you to fill out on this sheet. As I mentioned, we're currently looking for some extra help for the fall season. So if you know anyone who could benefit from this experience or just financially, go ahead and jot them down. Also, if you know anyone who's a great fit for our team, whether they have a positive attitude or a great work ethic, I would love to meet them. We are always looking to add stellar people. I can't guarantee them a job, but definitely an interview. They can present themselves. By the way, it means a ton to us to see someone that is excited about building a team. So thanks in advance. I'll do so shortly.
Okay, so good. You just want to get that down. So here's what I'll tell you guys. Perk 5, the best part is the team really leading into it. This is your personal, you can give your personal, like what you've loved about Cutco. But this part is the part that you can totally, this is totally personal. Cool. All it says is the team. I gave you an example of stuff we've said in Miami for years when it comes to like the team, like the best part being the team, but it's whatever you love about the team. I love that people push you. They work with you. You become a family, you know, whatever it is. Like the more personal that part is when you talk about the team, the more impactful that is. Cool. So when you guys go into this part, you're sharing like, you know, what I love, like the experience is unparalleled. Like I've learned but the best is just the people that you're around, you know, people that push you, help you grow. Like there aren't a bunch of like 18-year-olds who are just like working hard, waking up early, working together. But it's just so cool to have a group of people who just want to be better than average, you know, who are working towards big goals personally and professionally, who work together. Like whatever it is that you love about it, like this is you sharing like what you love about the people in Vector, about the community, about the office, the environment. Like this is what you love about it. Cool. So this is your time to be like, Ron, that's what you want to type it out. But this is the part that you're personalizing. Got it? This is where you're sharing, like, what do you love about this company? What has it done for you? What do you love about it? Why do you love working here? Cool. And so you can steal phrases from this. You can just say this, or you can make your own. But this is the part that you guys want to make sure it's yours. Cool. Now, I know not everyone got a chance to do that, but I want this to be a personal thing. So I do want you guys to take 15 minutes this week, and I want you to email it to me. Okay. I've already gotten 3 people email it to me. So thank you. But if you guys can just get that, type it up and send that over. And actually I'm going to try to stick and move to see if we can just work on it here at the end and get it done. But just to put like, what do you love? We did this last year with the branches later on down the line. I feel it's really powerful to do it now because you guys are running interviews and to be able to just get in the habit of sharing that. Because when you can enroll people in something you're passionate about and what you're excited about, it makes them want to be along for that journey. They're like, wow, that's awesome. Wow, like I want to feel like that. Like I want to love where I am. I want to learn like that. So you want to make sure you share that. And then obviously the transitioning to the PR is important. Yeah, just the perk section. I mean, you can resend the whole thing if you want, like your script, that you're using, or just that 5th part, like that transition. After you talk about the experience, that's where you're really sharing like what you love and like what you love about the team. And really for me, it was the family that Vector is and becomes. It's pretty amazing working with people who are like wanting to be the best of themselves, the best version of them, and create great options for their future, and be like, I have some friends who are like, do you know anything about that? And it's just cool being around people who are running their own business at 18, 19, 20, and really setting themselves apart. It's just cool to be a part of such a good group of people. So that's a really powerful thing. All right. So I want to make sure you guys get that down. And the last thing is with the PRs. And so we're going to take 2 minutes. So you guys grab a partner. Those of you guys who are by yourself, you're just going to say it out loud. So we're just going to like hear background noise, but you're just going to say it out loud a couple times. But I want you guys to go through and say it 2 or 3 times till I stop you, just as you go through. So a couple last things for you to fill out on this sheet. And you're reviewing the sheet. So on the sheet, guys, they wrote, like they answered the circles, right, as they went through the questionnaire. And now the next section of the sheet, and actually I'll just pull this up in case for any reason you haven't seen this. So you guys all here, where's my acceptance criteria? Here we go. So those of you guys who are on, you guys can see the sheet. So you guys know you have the questions. So you have the 5 questions that are during the video, and I'm sharing this also in the screen. And then there's the bottom that says, what 3 things impress you the most about Vector and why? Why would you like to become a member of our organization? How do you feel this experience would benefit you personally and professionally, personally in the future? And then on the back, there's a spot for 15 spots there. But guys, as you go into this part, letting them know. So guys, what's going to happen now is I'm actually going to meet with each of you guys. So letting them know I'm going to be grabbing you guys either 1, 2, like when it comes into the summer and you have big groups, there's some people that you'll pair off sometimes, but it's always great whenever you can do a one-on-one. Like I am a big proponent in one-on-one posts. I'll pre-screen 5 people at the same time, but I want to like one-on-one posts. But that's also you want to stick and move. And so when I have a big group, I'm going to tell them, hey, just so you guys know, just for time's sake, I'm only going to spend a couple minutes with you in making a final decision. And for those who are selected, we'll have a lot more time to get to know each other in training. Those that we might not get to work together, I don't have a ton of time to give feedback, but you're welcome to call back and I can give you some additional feedback to help you in further interviews. And so we used to let them know that. It's like, I'm letting you know right now why I'm not going to spend 10 to 15 minutes. Because if you spend 10 to 15 minutes with 10 people, that's 2 hours plus that you just spent posting. And that last person wants to friggin' shoot themselves, all right? So it looks like some of you guys have done that.
Hey, Kat.
So hold on. So your posts are quick. So you're letting them know, hey, we're going to fill this out. I pretty much made most of my decisions from your initial greet. I know what I'm looking for, but I do have some final, I want to make sure, I want to look at your answers. I want to make sure it all matches. If I have any questions for you, you have any questions for me, and we'll go from there, and let them know. And by the way, you can start working on the back, letting them know, and I'm gonna stop this here, that we're always looking to add great people, all right? And I know you guys have gotten different scripts, different versions. All right, this works beautifully. It's all about delivery. It doesn't matter. And in many cases, the things that you use, it's just about your confidence in your delivery. So I'm like, hey, as I mentioned before, and so like I let them know in the beginning, right? We're interviewing, we're looking to fill positions, So it's like, hey, as I mentioned, we're looking for some extra help this fall to really finish the year strong. And so if you know anybody that might benefit from this experience, just from the experience or financially, they might benefit from this, go ahead and jot them down. And if you know anybody who might be a great fit, just because they have like a really positive attitude or a killer work ethic, I'd love to meet them. We're always looking to add stellar people. Can't guarantee them a job, but definitely an interview. So you can go ahead and jot them down and they can go from there, present themselves. All right. By the way, it means a ton to us when we see people who are excited about helping us build a team. So thank you so much in advance. And then I'll go. And something that someone had mentioned at fall kickoff and Victoria had implemented was awesome, of like, hey, it only has 15. If someone needs another one, like we do have more, but just with the amount of people, like we're just going to give you guys one, fill that out, and we'll go from there, or some version of that. But I think it matters. Like if you build, like the whole thing is your perk section, and that lasts like the team and what you love about Cutco. When you do a great job with it, you're like, wow, I want to work here. And like that's where you're going to get people filling out a bunch of names. That's where you're going to get people showing up to training because they were tied into that. That's what creates show, by the way, is that part. Once they've made it through the group, it's that your perk section, and then at the end you're just closing the deal in the group. Hey, and the other like, no, that was amazing, whatever. No, I have no questions, or yeah, I had a question with this, and you're finding out what's happening, and then you accept them. By the way, there's a great, and I believe I sent it to you guys in the documents. I'm going to look at it again at the email that I'd sent you guys, but it's ways to accept people. Did I attach that in there? Cool. So that's something that Drew had put together for some of his newer managers, and I thought it was fantastic. Years ago, he put this together because there was new managers who were like, I don't know what to say to people, and it was like, well, if they're quiet and they're taking notes, here's what you can say. Hey, if they were an athlete or they're a straight A student, here's what you could say. And so it just gives you like a blanket thing to help you guys as you're newer find something real to connect with them as to why you'd be excited about having them on the team. Cool? So if you haven't gotten a chance to look at that, that's something that you guys want to incorporate into your post as you're going through there. So real quick, I want to walk through and just do that last part. So a couple things for you guys to fill out on the sheet and walk them through. Hey, you want to make sure these are filled out, fill out the bottom here, and then go ahead and flip it over and explain that out loud so you guys can stand up, stretch your bums. All right, I'm going to put on music here real quick. Those of you by yourself, you're just going to be talking into the computer. Those of you guys who are in groups, match up. I want that last part of the interview, just transitioning to the sheet and basically getting the PRs in the interview. That's what you're going over. Just do that 2-3 times real quick. So stand up, grab a partner, and let's go. There should be lots of noise.
Hey, Kevin.
Really important. I just want to make sure that you guys take time to write out that last part. I feel like it's one of the biggest influencers in your show. My managers who are great at sharing like what they love about Vector and what it's done for them have always been the ones who have gotten the highest shows. They do a really great job with that. So, you know, can you set yourself up for success and for your office? Because right now what we need, and that's what I wanted to focus on, is right now we need great numbers, great shows to training, people who are stoked to be a part of the team and the organization. So even for those of you who have less people coming into interviews, are we really tying them in to like what you love about this place, what it's all about? Or are you just like saying hi, they come in, then you put on a video, after the video, oh, cool, you have a job. And they're like, so every monkey that comes in here, you just shake their hand, have them fill out an application, put on a video and say you have a job. You know, is that how they feel? Is that what's given off? All right. Mm-hmm. All right. But by the way, that's what it can feel like. That's what it can feel like for an applicant. Just think about when they come in. Do they feel greeted? Do they feel a sense of hominess? Do they feel that, you know? Or is it literally like, oh, hi, yeah, go ahead and fill this out. Okay, cool, everything looks good and put on a video for you. Okay, do you have any questions? All right, you have a job. All right, like that's not gonna get you great shows and great people who are tied into what you're doing. You're not gonna recruit your sharpest applicants like that because then they know they're not stupid. Like, oh, they just do this for everyone. They come in, they fill out a paper, they play a video, and they go, you got a job, you know? So are you connecting with them? Are you sharing vision of your organization, what you want in the organization, what you love about it, and then sharing with them what you liked about them, like what you noticed from their resume or their eye contact or their personality, past experience. Like you need to actually look at their application and at the end, find a reason as to why you want them on your team. And I feel like you could bring, you know, some great attributes to our team, you know, as somebody who is a leader, you know, being captain of your teams and being, you know, and pointing out those things. Or sometimes there's a person who doesn't have much and say, honestly, there's not a ton here, you know, like no resume, not much experience. And so, you know, there might be other places where they might not give you a shot, but we're in the business of seeing people grow. And, you know, if you can bring an attitude and an eagerness to succeed, a hunger to learn, if you combine that with a good work ethic, with the training you get here, you'll do outstanding. You know, and so it's really great because what you put into it, you'll get out of it. And we have incredible coaches who are here to help you every step of the way, you know, so just be real. The more real you can be, the more you can connect with them, you know, and you're not just reading a script at them, but you're having a conversation with them. That's where you're going to get great shows. Okay. So make sure you guys are reviewing that. This month is training, okay? I'm not going to go through all the different things, but I do want to go through parts that you want to make sure. So each week, so this past week, you guys were supposed to have looked at last week, the intro. And I want to review, if you guys look at your, the fall syllabus, all right? And I'll share this for you guys who are on the actual video right now. But if you guys look at the fall syllabus, I want to make sure you guys don't get behind. Even those of you guys who are on your own, even if one of you guys, if you missed prep for any reason or whatever, that's fine. Like, it is what it is, but don't just not catch up on the lesson. Review it a couple times to make sure you're comfortable with it, all right? Because you're supposed to be drilling each week. So last week, you guys were supposed to be drilling opening comments, okay? Is what you were supposed to be drilling, opening comments to your training. By the way, opening comments, super easy. Literally read your script, and I'll resend that out. I do have a bonus, which is my walkthrough in the beginning. This is something both Drew does his version of, I did for years, and it's something that he started doing too, and it's pre-framing everything that's going to happen. So you know exactly what's going to go down, not just in the next 2 days, but in their fast start. It's how you create a lot of 10K fast start pop, all right? So when I was giving a talk on this, our late night at the convention last week, we have roundtables, right? Like you guys do at SC2. So we have roundtables with the millionaires. And so we have like managers coming around the tables and asking questions about stuff. And that was a really big thing. One of the guys who came to cross train with me years ago in Miami, he's like, Kathy, I remember he was just a beast with like faster productivity. These kids like wanted to work. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, you know, what happened in the pop. And like a lot of that is just like how it's set up in the beginning. What seeds are you dropping? And so I actually typed out years ago my intro. I'm going to send that to you guys so you can look at it. There's a bonus thing. First, I just wanted you to read the dang script. It's very easy. It's very simple. Exactly what it says. Like you could just read those words. But obviously when you can give personal examples, stories, and if you watch, Drew's recorded training and watch it with the actual script, or you watch my recorded training, you watch it with the script, you'll see a lot of those extra stories, extra things that are in there. And that's what it takes a good manager to a great manager, are those extra things, So if you read it, you can be good. Cool. You can be average. Just like a rep can read the manual in training, they see MAT customers, they're going to sell about 60% of the time with about a $300 average order, But those who are better, they get comfortable with that and they learn psychology things. They learn to ask questions to get to know the customer. Do they cook? Do they not? And be able to connect with them. So there's just things that you learn. All right. And with training, the best managers teach through stories. So a lot of the lessons we're getting across is through examples and stories of other people. And so that's something that you're not going to catch from reading the script. That's something you're only going to catch from actually watching the videos, whether it's mine or Drew's. And Drew's is amazing. He's one of the best trainers in our company. So you can watch that. It's all properly professionally recorded. You can watch mine as well. There will be some nuances, some differences, just because we were in different regions, and you'll see a lot of things that are really similar as well. All right. But that was last week, was opening comments. This week, you're supposed to go through demo walkthrough. Okay. So with opening comments, what are your goals in opening comments? You want to make them feel comfortable, right? The whole first half of day one, really all of day one, is you want to make sure. And so if I ask you guys, what's your objective through your opening comments? They need to feel comfortable with all right, cool, I want to do this job. Cool. So they just need to feel comfortable. So one, everything they heard in the interview needs to match what they're hearing in that opening comments. Because if your opening comments has a different feel, has different music, it's delivered differently, has a different energy behind it, they're not going to come back. Just so you guys know. All right. They're not going to come back to the next day, or they're going to leave in the middle of the day. They go, this isn't what I thought. Right. So if it's different than the vibe they got in there, they're not going to come back. By the way, some of you guys have different personalities than the person running training. And now, as we move into this month, some of you guys are going to start helping running training, right? Some of you guys have started running training. And so you have a different personality, all right? So if, great. If you run interviews and I'm running training, I'm probably going to have a really bad launch from all your people, all right? Maybe you'll get them to show. They're not going to come to the next day unless you build me up properly. Because when there's people that have very different personalities and energy levels, it's awful. Both ways. If I run interviews and they come to your training, they're like, what? And they don't come back. Both ways. Unless I set it up and I go, hey, just Gray's going to be training you. Very different personality than I, very reserved, in the back, smart as heck, knows the business inside out. You were in such good hands. I would just take tons of notes. You're going to notice a little bit more chill and more monotone, he knows his stuff. And I'm going to build you up and I'm going to say, so just so you know, you're not going to get the crazy Puerto Rican. You're going to have a very chill white guy. He's pretty awesome, all right? But he's going to teach you a ton. And so my advice to you, take notes on everything he says, anything he says to do, just do it. He's so good. One of the top representatives from when he started, top manager, just listen to everybody. They're all right, cool. So they know what to expect. So now when they come, they're not expecting crazy cat, all right? And they know that Gray's going to be more reserved, more quiet, but he's super brilliant, knows his stuff, was one of the best people, and they're just ready to take notes, So you got to do that. You have to know who is running the training that week in your office. And you have to make sure that the people know who's running training and build them up properly. Cool? Build them up. If they're younger, I'll say, hey, you'll notice they're really young, all right, which is amazing. One of our youngest people to advance, they're actually training to run their own business next summer. Super excited about what they've done. Top All-American Scholarship winner, top this, top that, and just build up their accolades and say, so I'm just telling you, when you come to training, just be ready to take notes and get involved. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. You will kick butt. Set them up for success. You want them to crush it, by the way, from interview to training. This is something I got from John Wasserman, one of the best at our company of all time. Jot this down. Clear up their weekend. Say, hey, by the way, if possible, try to have your first 2 weekends as open as possible. Something John taught me years ago to help with Fast Start Pop. And he's like, hey, if at all possible, try to have your first 2 weekends as open as possible. If not, no big deal. You get to make your own schedule. It's super flexible. But just he would drop that in just real soft. Just, hey, if possible, try to clear up your first 2 weekends, especially this weekend, as much as possible. Be like, and don't worry if you can't. Super flexible. But if there's anything you can clear up, you'll be glad you did. And they're like, oh, okay. And I love when they come to training and I'm like, oh, how's your first weekend? I cleared it. And I have reps all the time do that when my managers do that in the interview. It's my most favorite thing in the freaking world. Because I always ask that when they're doing their first role play, hey, how's your weekend look, whatever. And, oh, I cleared it. Oh, David told me to clear it. I cleared it. And I'm like,
that's what Kathy did for me.
Drive that kid so hard. All right. Yeah. We did that with Billy. So I want that weekend open. So can you plant that seed of hey, if possible, but don't make it a thing where they go, oh shit, if I don't have my weekend cleared, I'm not going to succeed. Right? that can backfire. You don't want to do that either. So it's very like, you know, like, hey, if possible, and if not, hey, no big deal, right? When you guys want to kick ass and fast start, I really ruined this when I was a newer manager, because I was like, oh, you need to go do this, you need to go sell this. And I was like, tell them everything, like, you need to do this, and some people were like, I don't want to work that much. I thought this was flexible. I don't know that I can do that. I don't know that I can sell. And it scared them away. And I lost average and some great people too that I lost, and definitely a lot of the lower guys, because they didn't feel they could do it. And I was like, shit, you know, and I had to learn like the balance of it, of the give and take. Hey, our top guys, they go after it. They get up at 7 a.m. Hey, I know it's not for everybody, but if there's anyone in the room who's like, I'm down for the challenge, come talk to me. And guess what, guys? Over half my classes usually like want to go for the challenge, you know? When I'm like, if there's like one or two of you, you know, so there's a total pullback, but there's such a buildup. They don't feel like I'm telling everyone has to wake up at 7 a.m., you know, but all those overachievers, like, I can do it. I can wake up. I can be one of those people, you know? And so you create a desire for them to want to go out and succeed through like little drops. All right. And so we're going to talk about that. I'm not talking about that today. I'm not talking about fast start and productivity. That's going to be more in the spring. I'll give you guys little tips and keys as we go, but that's a tip right there. So in your interviews, can you tell people, hey, if possible, try to clear your first 2 weekends, especially this weekend. Add that, like write it down. Add that to your arsenal, because that's something that's going to really help with the pop. All right. Go ahead, Nemo.
When would you say that?
Right when they're like leaving, I gave them all the stuff for training. Okay. Hey, here's your training times. Hey, by the way, and I'd say two things. If you want to get ahead on the back here, it has to, you can start working on your practice list. You remember who you start with? Like, so if I'm you, like I would get ahead. Some of our top people will come with 50 to 100 names and numbers already. By the way, not mandatory, but it will put you ahead. So anything you do, you're getting ahead of other people. In training, we're going to work on that together. But if possible, I would start working on this. All right. So they don't feel like pressure, but they're like, all right. So again, if that overachiever is like, shoot, I'll come with a whole big list, you know, but I'm like, hey, especially if it's a PR, I'm like, hey, Johnny will tell you a lot of our top guys with 50 to 100 names, not mandatory. But if you want to get ahead, like that stuff we're going to do in training anyway, so you're going to be ahead of everyone else. It's going to help you get off to a faster start. Cool. So that's one thing if you can. Second, try to clear up this weekend and next weekend, especially this weekend. The more time you have, the more I can help you kick some butt right away. So not mandatory, you know, don't forget there's stuff you can't move around, but if there's anything that you are able to clear up, you'll be glad you did. They're like, oh, okay. But regardless, super excited to see him like training. And by the way, job's super flexible. So if you do have some stuff that are like not able to move, don't even worry about it. You can just work this right around that. All right. So I always say job's super flexible, training's not. I just need you for these times. Can you clear these times in your schedule? Okay, awesome. So jot that down, please. Job super flexible, training's not. All right. Job super flexible, training's not. So is this something you can definitely clear? You know, is this something you can make happen? They're like, oh yeah, I can do that. All right. So make sure that they're feeling comfortable with stuff. Then next week is just going to be watch the value talk. All right. So watch Drew. It goes right along with your manual. You can watch right through there and just make sure. And that's something that a lot of people will just play that part, but I want you to get comfortable. I loved value. Value was my favorite part when I was brand new in training, when I was in Leadership Academy. And that's, I was a damn good sales rep. And I love building value. I was like, let's go. That was one of my favorite parts. Like that's the sale. And your training class is a big demo. Like it's a big demo. You need to close them all on why it's worth it. That's what you're doing. So I thought that was really fun. You know, like that was my big demo. So you don't have to say to people like, oh, when you're in a demo, do this. No, just do it. They copycat whatever, you just do what you want them to do. Don't teach anything advanced. Keep it super basic. And the things that are advanced, whenever I talk, I'm like, oh yeah, sets of this. Hey, the next tool in your set. Oh, the next tool in the set. I don't tell them in training to say that, but it's how I always say it. Just like if I was on a demo, because that's all I want them thinking about, right? So the top guys naturally do the same thing, and then others don't. And then in advanced training, when I'm like, oh, say sets with, they're like, whoa. You know, it's like this whole big thing. But do the things you want them to do. So as you're walking through the demo, you know, making sure. So demo walkthrough, that was this week, right? With the demo walkthrough, so intro, you're just letting them, like, making sure they feel comfortable. This is a great place to be. Experience, money, here's the keys to success. Super simple. Read through that. It's super simple. Demo walkthrough. Demo walkthrough is really important. You guys who have sold, all of you guys have sold $10,000 or more. Some of you guys have sold hundreds of thousands of dollars. All right. It's very easy to start wanting to teach them all this advanced shit. Let me show you how to show the complete set and all this. No. Your manual. That's it. Okay. Once they have that, we'll go from there. Super fancy is if they come to the second day early morning workshop and I show them how to open the trifold and say, hey, we also have larger sets. I don't even say the names and uses. I go, so it has these two. Do you think you'd want everything or just the basic? Like that's like super advanced, all right? And if a customer goes, wait, but what's in there? I go, then all you do is read the bottom to them if they ask. If not, you just open. Oh, we have a larger set. Okay. All right. That is as advanced as it gets when it comes to training. Got it? So some of you guys are like, oh, let me tell you about the 7 9 way. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, it doesn't even matter. All right. They haven't even gone out there to do a demo yet. So when you're doing the demo walkthrough, it's super, super simple. Something I added in mine that many of you guys have seen, and I think it's really great because it helps people of all different levels, okay? Is you have to understand that people have different territories too. And so some of the training is amazing, but a lot of it, their market is very middle upper income. And so when you have different groups and you have more lower income in an area too, you have to make sure you're connecting with everyone, even though they might not be as smart, and also different languages, right? And so like a lot of the places I was at, there was a lot of different languages coming in. So when you guys go through that section, when you're going through the demo, I like to break it down to 7 steps of a sale. All right, so everyone jot this down. This is not in your guys' leader's guide. All right, so what happens? You do your intro, right? So the first part of training is your intro to training. After you do the intro, then we go into demo walkthrough, okay? Now, by the way, between the intro and the walkthrough, what do you ideally want to happen? Anyone who's ran training, what do you want to happen between those two things? I'm gonna unmute you guys. What happens between the intro and the demo walkthrough? Anyone specific? Before that, demo. Cool? You have someone do a demo. Do you guys have like a rep or someone do a demo for them in training? All right. So by the way, this is a really big thing you guys can jot down. It just gives them a lot of confidence. It's right after you finish the intro. At first, it might be a receptionist, and then it'll be your top rep from the week before. But something that you want to do is that you want to have them actually like you want to have someone come in and just do pages 2 through 8, not the closing, not anything. They just go through page 2 through 8 so they can just see it. Cool. So anytime possible, you want to, and by the way, even if it's you as a manager, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna pretend I'm brand new. You're my aunt and uncle, and just do it for them real quick so they can see it. Some people are very, very visual learners, you know? So just by seeing it, they get a hang of what it's gonna look like, and it just gives comfort and confidence. And so that gives them more confidence when they just see it. So literally, you hold your blue book up, and you have your manual and you literally read straight from it like you're brand new. Do not look at them. And when you have someone come in to do the demo, you need to coach them on that. They are literally reading, looking down, and like pointing, all right? Like no fancy shit, no super eye contact, not sitting back, going off blabbing on whatever random crap. They're reading their manual. Nemo.
Would you hand out the manuals for the
before the, no, I don't. I do not hand the manuals. They're just watching. I say, hey, you guys are going to see. We're going to give you guys your manuals after, but I want you guys to pay attention. What are things that he does, you know, to inform the customers on the right information? What are things he does to keep them involved or connected? You know, whatever. Like, just pay attention to that. If you see any jokes that he says, I don't know if he's going to say any or not. Some people have quirky jokes they've stolen from people, but there's some corny things that even in your manual, so you guys can just have fun, but you'll see that. But I'm like, I just want you guys to watch. So during that time, I don't want them reading a lot. I just want them watching and like being engaged in the presentation to just see it. Because then later they're going to read it and they're going to practice it. So these are all different forms of how people learn, right? Some people are audio learners. Some people are visual learners. Some people like, you know, they like whatever it is, whether they like to read, hear, see. But the human mind remembers so much of what it sees, of what it hears, and what it says to other. Like all these are different forms of communication. There's different percentages. When you can combine them, it's really powerful. Okay, so they see a quick demo, nothing drawn out. It's super quick. It should take like 5-7 minutes. Okay, it's very basic. You don't even have to do the names and uses. Sometimes I don't do the names and uses. Sometimes I do them because right after that, like right after we actually cover those sections, then we're gonna actually have cutting clinic in my office. So usually cutting when they come in. There's usually cutting like peelers, trimmer with tomatoes, or grapes. I want chef knives out, whatever, like. Then rope and leather so they can just like see those basic things as they come in just to give them a little conviction. Remember, these people didn't really get to like cut rope and leather in the interview because now many of them are watching a video, you know? So I want them to see that. Even in the beginning of training now, as I'm reviewing, I'm like, yeah, we just, you know, how does the job work? You know, we meet with our customers. I'm like, yeah, you guys get paid to show really cool kid and stuff. Like, did you remember the scissors from the interview? Some people do. Most don't, because it's like, you know, it just goes by quickly. And if they blinked for a moment, they missed it, you know? So I didn't remember like the scissors from the video, and there's that person like, oh yeah, and I'm like, I don't have a penny. I'm like, check this out, you know, and they're like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, like I think your customers feel who actually cook. I'm like, it's pretty awesome, you know, but that's like in the beginning, just building conviction and like, wow, these products rock, you know? So anyway, they're chopping up when they come in. All right. Then I do the intro. Then we have a mock demo. So jot this down. This is your order of training. All right. So you've got chopping clinic, you've got intro, you've got quick live demo, just till names and uses, no closing, cool? Just to names and uses. Then we stand up and start, that's when we give manuals out, cool? And I walk them through and I say, hey, by the way, sometimes actually, in my training, it's usually after the mock demo, unless I'm waiting for someone to get here, then I'll say it before. Regardless, before we dive into the manual, I say, just so you guys know, before we even dive into the manual, this is something I learned in college called 7 Steps to a Sale, cool? I learned this in my marketing class. You guys could all jot this down. This is very easy for reps to feel really confident about what they're supposed to do on every page. So I say 7 steps to a sale. I learned this in college. Step 1, do you guys know what it is? What's step 1? Build rapport.
Build rapport.
Build rapport. So the first thing is you want to chit chat. You guys just saw, you know, Roman here doing his demo, going through, and I always tell him, like, normally Roman would actually spend 10 to 15 minutes chit-chatting with Aunt and Uncle. He's going to kind of skip the catch-up, and he's just going to dive right into why he's working with Cutco. But you do want to spend 10 to 15 minutes and catch up with them. It's one of the most important parts of your demo, all right? So I talk about, I'm like, yeah, so you want to connect. And he's like, so how do we do that? How do we do that in our demo? We do that through asking questions, complimenting, and sharing goals. And they're all like, all right, cool. So I write this on the board, or you have it in your PowerPoint. All right, so that's step 1. So how do we connect? So I say step 1 is building rapport. I just say connect. Write down connect. So that's step 1, connect. How do we do that? Write it down. There's 3 things. What are the 3 things to connect? Ask questions, compliment, ask questions, share your goals. Cool? Ask questions, compliment, share your goals. What are they, David? All right, cool. So compliment, ask questions, share your goals. Those are 3 things for you connecting. Cool? Step 2, what's your second step? Establish credibility, right? They need to know it's legit. So how do we do that? How did you guys see Roman do? What did he do on that second page? And I'm using the blue book. He talked about what? How long the company's been around. You guys saw him cut a penny. They're like, holy crap, this stuff is good. How many customers, where it's located. We make K-Bar for the U.S. Marine Corps. All of this is part of the customer going, oh, this is legit stuff, right? We want to make sure they know it's credible. That's the second step. Then we go to step 3, all right? And you guys saw him go here. What did we do in this part? What is that? What are we doing? You want to create a problem. Because if there isn't a problem, you don't need a solution. So that is step 3, you're creating a problem. So how did Roman do that in his demo? He talked about, you know, right, the wood, the ply, yeah, and he's like, oh, this is gross, whatever. And so common problems with common knives, like that's what you're doing there, cool? Then step 4, and I tell him, I go, by the way, step 3 is where most infomercials, that's where most infomercials start, right? And I use that example. You could write that down. Be like, have you guys ever watched an infomercial? Do you ever have a hard time sleeping at night? You're like, yes, you know? Or do you have problem with those overgrowing weeds in the backyard? You're like, yes. What are they doing? They're creating a problem. So you go, yes, I need that. I need a solution to that problem. So that's what's happening, all right? But they're missing step 2 and 3. By the way, have you guys seen an infomercial like Proactive where they actually have people talking, all right, and sharing their experience? Like, oh, I used to have trouble with this, and they have testimonials. What are they doing? They're trying to do step 2, establish credibility by having real-life examples. That's what's happening. Because when you have all 7 steps, that's where you maximize your sales. Cool? Then, guys, step 4. Build value for the solution. They need to know why your solution's so good. All right, so jot that down. Build value for the solution. So guys, during this part is where you're letting them know, hey, there's 5 features that make Cutco the best. Let me tell you what, you know, and you go through like why Cutco is so great. All right, so you guys do that. Then you go to step 5, all right, which is create a specific need. So for instance, if I know now, oh, Proactiv is what I want to use, this is what I want to use, then I'm like, okay, for overnight blemishes, use this. For, daily cleansing, use this. And there's different uses. So now I know close what I want, but now they need to see which set is best for them. Is it a complete set? Is it a family set? Is it a starter? Do they need gardening? Do they need outdoor? So we're going to figure all that out. Cool. Step 6, compare prices, which we didn't do yet. We're going to walk through that a little bit later today. And step 7, AFTO, ask for the order. You need to actually say, hey, is this something you want to try out today? All right. So again, everyone tell me step 1. What's step 1? All right. Build a report. You need to connect. Cool. And I tell my guys, I'm like, so every time I ask you, I say step 1, you're going to say what? Connect. That's step 1. Once you connect, step 2 is to do what? They need to know it's legit. All right, you're going to do that through giving company history about the products. You're going to show them the penny. They're like, holy crap, this stuff is good. All right. Step 3, what do we do next? Create a problem, right? If you don't have a problem, you don't need to. Step 4, what do we do? Build value for the solution. Let them know why that solution is so good. Step 5, what do we do? Specific need. Step 6, compare prices. Step 7, ask for the order. All right. So, guys, by the way, this manual walks through this seamlessly. It's freaking awesome. And we're going to walk through. And I learned that in school. All right. And you can say, hey, our division manager learned this when she was in business school. And it is so simple. And I'm like, so we're going to walk through your manuals now. You're going to walk through step by step, whatever. Made out the manuals, and now they're going to put their name on top. This is your demo walkthrough. You're going to fill out. By the way, on the front of the manual, you guys can create a lot on the front of the manual. All right. When I walk through, I'm like, hey, you're going to get your rep number tomorrow. I make a statement and I say, you're going to need that to put all your orders online. What is that showing? Expectancy for sales. Got it? Are you saying, Cassandra, oh, you need this if you make a sale? Because those are weak words. You're not creating proper expectancy, okay? So when you say, hey, your rep number, you're gonna get that tomorrow, you're gonna need that to put on all your orders when you make your sales. Hey, you're gonna need that when you go on Vector Connect. When you guys place your orders each week, you'll go on Vector Connect, you'll log in. It's super simple. We'll show you tomorrow how to maneuver through there. Super simple. Make sure all your orders are online each night. It makes it so much better for the representative, for the customer service, and for you. Make sure you don't have any problems and you have loyal customers. So right there, just on the front page, in that first line where they put their name and the trainer, it says rep number, right there, boom, sales expectancy. Cool? Then we keep going through the manual here, all right? And so we're like, all right, so we have AT1. I'm like, hey guys, we have advanced training 1 this day. We have advanced training 2. And then advanced training 3 we have on Saturday at Breakfast Club. We have for you guys AT4. You guys can pick when you come. Within your first 2 weeks, you want to come in and there's an additional workshop you want to watch. It's absolutely ridiculous. The sooner you can get those done, the more impactful it is for you. But those are sessions we have in your first week to help you guys lay a kick-butt foundation. So our guys who take advantage of that, I mean, they'll tell you, like, the results explode. Billy came to advanced training, left that night and sold over $2,500 on his next sale, over $2K. Like, pretty awesome.
Yeah, sold a complete set.
Yeah, so just like sharing success of people, all right? But that's really big, because then they're like, oh, wow. And then I had another girl do the same thing, and then she went out, and dropped a set sale. Weekly team meeting, that's what we get to. So you're talking next push week. By the way, personal coaching sessions. I build this up. And I'm like, by the way, has anyone ever hired, do you guys know someone who's ever hired a trainer? Like a personal trainer or a voice coach or a debate coach or an acting coach? Does anyone know someone who's done that? Why do they do that? Because they want to be the best, all right? They want to, by the way, the best athletes, the best performers, guess what they have? Private coaches, private trainers, all right? By the way, you have it free of charge on me. You have 4 personal coaching sessions in your first month. Utilize those, once a week. And I'll tell you right now, our assistants go above and beyond. Sometimes they'll meet with you like 2 times in a week. And I'm like, dude, you don't need to do that. But they do it because they want to see you guys do well. And so these personal coaching sessions, you'll set those times up with your coach. You'll get one for sure your first week. Your second week, I always time it, 1 per week. But again, you can get those done sooner. Our guys, by the way, who are over 30,000, most of them, and some guys who are even younger, starting at like 15, 20,000, pay for coaching. But they actually pay for their coaching because they want to be freaking amazing. As they pay some of the top people in the nation. So take advantage that we have incredible people here that you can learn from for free. All right, so that's really awesome. So you're just building those things up. So they're excited for that personal coaching. Like, oh, hell yeah, I get a free personal coaching session with one of the top people versus I have to go meet with someone. You guys with me? All right. So it's all about framing. How do you frame things where they're like, wow, and they're like really excited, to go out there and learn. So phone number, Vector Connect is where you're going to put all your orders. So it says your order entry, commission checks, you'll be able to see those, customer database, learning library, Cutco.com. That's where all our products are, all the prices, things are on there. And then virtual demo. Who here has somebody who doesn't live in Houston that would love this stuff? Yeah, all right. By the way, so does every mom. Every mom has a family member, a best friend from college, someone they know somewhere that would love this stuff. And so this allows you to do business anywhere and everywhere. And then we have some of our guys that don't drive. Some of our guys who are going to school here who are not, this is not their home. They're here from Alabama. And so their family's all in Alabama and they're here going to school at Rice or at HBU or whatever. And so they love it because they can still have a full blown business around what they have going on without even being in Alabama, So build that up. Then you walk in here and you go through. And so on this part, go quick. All right. Say, all right, so let's open it up. David, go ahead and read. What are the first 3 keys? Follow me. All right, cool. Next point, go Cass. Yeah, be courteous. And you can say stuff and you can add something in, like be in the kitchen. I'm like, always ask them, where can we sit down and chop stuff up and make a mess? You want to make sure they're comfortable. Best to show husband and wife together. So you can just say a little quick blurb after some of these, but with best and husband and wife, I'm like, guys, most of our customers, and I'm always talking about middle class. My middle class kids pop and my rich kids sell because of how it's framed. Versus in some other offices, rich kids are like, this stuff is expensive because it's framed totally improperly, and it's like, we're not working with cheap stuff. We're working with the best. It is the craftsman tools, the snap-on tools of the kitchen. But here, when I say, hey, husband and wife, I'm like, guys, most of our customers are middle class. Okay. And so most middle class customers, they make decisions for home products together. Cool. So anytime possible, you want to see them together. There are some exceptions to that. If you have upper income house moms, which Houston has a lot of, their job is to shop and take care of the house, and so there are, random exceptions, but anytime possible, husband and wife together, especially for your middle class customers, that's where you want to roll. That's where you're going to get your biggest sales. Bring food to the demo. It's okay to bring food. I always took carrots and tomatoes, and a pineapple for all my key customers. So sharing that tip of pineapple, and you can give your own story on that if you want. Stay in control of your book. You want to be flipping, and so you walk through that. And then if your customer owns Cutco, go ahead and read that, and you have them read that out loud. Be like, customers that have Cutco love it. They're always rebuying. Talk to any of our top people. Like Jonathan, the last 2 weeks sold over $10,000 each week, mostly to people who already had Cutco. Because they're like, I love this stuff, and they rebuy. People are rebuying. People now after the storm have gotten insurance money. They're replacing a lot of stuff, and holidays are coming, and people are going to buy gifts for the holidays as well. So you read that. So then, guys, and this is my last thing we dive into. Then I go, and now we dive in. And guys, what's step 1 again?
Go report.
Yeah, connect, right? Right on the top of your page here, put connect. Your whole objective in this whole page as you go through here is to connect with your customer. Cool? So I don't care if you're translating to Mandarin, to Vietnamese, to Portuguese, to Spanish, to whatever it is. Don't freak out. You need to connect. Cool? That's what you're doing. You're complimenting. Put a star. You're thanking them. Tell them about you. A lot of people, they know you already. Just catching up. How's the school year? How's whatever? What are you excited about? How's the semester going? Just catching up. It's people that you know. And then when it's your aunt's best friend, and did my aunt tell you? Oh yeah, I'm going to UH. I actually want to be in the MBA one day and do this and that, whatever. And you're just sharing with them. And then you're like, hey, do you mind if I share some of my goals? You're like, yeah, what's up? And I'm like, so a reason I'm working, I actually found, and I always have them tie in how they heard about it. I'm like, yeah, I actually randomly found out about this at school. I found a business card on the floor, or my friend randomly recommended me for this job. And you go through, and now you dive in and you go through tying in, goals, a transition. I'm like, but guys, your whole objective here is just to connect with your customer. So again, compliment, thank them, share your goals, ask questions to get to know them, and then share your goals with them and be like, wow, like at the end of this page, they should be like, dang, I was just with my kid, cause you're like goal oriented, you're working hard. I mean, think about the average 17 to 24-year-olds. Like they're just like millennials are known to be like entitled, not super driven and hardworking. So when they meet young people who are motivated, they're really excited about being a part of that process. Everyone good? All right. So that's that. Then we go to step 2. What is step 2, guys? To establish credibility. So if you want to just put legit, or you want to put credibility, whatever you want to put at the top of the page, this whole page, that's what you're doing. You're establishing credibility. That's what you're doing from the beginning. You talk about the company, you show them the scissors, like all of this. You're just making sure they know company is legit. Cool? So I want you to read right off here. I want them to get the right information, but I also want you to understand your objective as you're reading those words. Your objective is that they know that this company is legit. Cool? Like that's your objective as you go through here. Everyone good? And so I have different people popcorn read. I'm like, Roman, go ahead and start. I'm like, all right, cool. Caleb, take over. Okay, Christine, go ahead and go to the next part. You know, and so you just kind of like call their names because you also want to make notes of who are the good readers. Guys, don't make people that like struggle reading read very long. Cool? They read like a sentence. You're like, hey, great job. Cass, go ahead and take over. You know, like you see they're uncomfortable reading. Don't let them keep going a long time. Don't call on them again later if they're like really uncomfortable reading out loud. Some people get really uncomfortable reading out loud. And then some people are like the first one, you know, and I know like if I have a theater person in my room, like I'm going to call on them a lot because they're super comfortable with scripts and reading, you know? So know your audience so you don't make people feel weird. All right. And then later, one of the things for me is later when we do the phone approach, I'm going to pick that best reader to read to me. Like we haven't even looked at it. And I'm like, watch how easy this is, guys. We're going to do the phone approach. I'm going to do it for you guys. We're going to walk through it. We're going to practice without any practice. Christine, I'm your aunt. Cool. Literally read that and pretend I'm your aunt. Go. And I'm going to pick someone who's comfortable. They're like, oh, yeah, I got it. You know, they sound amazing. Like, guys, she'd never even looked at that before. Do you guys see how simple it is? Be like, so let me walk you through it. And so it's just instilling confidence of like, this is easy. This is simple. All you have to do is read. And you're going to get results. Like, that's all you're doing as you go through. So you guys walk through. So I go all the way to step 3, create a problem. Once I get to step 3, that's when I do a quick role play. And they just role play back and forth, like the bottom transition to demo. I'm like, we're not going to do the whole rapport building. We'll practice that tomorrow. Get here early or stay after to practice more of that. You're just going to go and we're going to partner. Now, how you set them up for role play, this is the last thing that I'm going to cover today, just because of time-wise. But the last thing is how you role play. So typically this is the only part I role play. If I have time, we'll do features and benefits, but many times we're going to do it the next day because I want to make sure we have enough time to have a long ass, amazing names list talk, to have a hell of a schedule talk where these guys are fired up to rip at their first weekend, where they have plenty of time to make phone calls and get PCs, like an hour and a half of phone time and PC time at the end. That is more important than role playing names and uses another time. Okay, so just so you guys know. And so I'll give you guys time where it's like, that's your red zone. You got to cut off whatever you're doing and transition to the next thing. Okay, so anyway, they role play and they just go each section. I'm like, just keep going back and forth. But when you set it up, I go, so here's what's going to happen, guys. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes right now to practice. Okay, and when I say, okay, it's time to practice, so you're all going to get a partner. So JD, let's say you and Christine are together. Okay, you guys are practice partners. So Christine, what you're going to do, you'll start off, right? And so you'll start reading to JD and you're like, hey, like I said on the phone, you don't have to get anything, but if you do see something you like, JD, while she's reading to you, you are not looking at her. Cool? There will be 0 eye contact during this section. That's exactly what I said. I'm like, there will be 0 eye contact. I'm like, I don't want you to look at them. And smile. Every time you say something, especially when you guys say something stern, I'll be like, there will be 0 eye contact. I'm like, got it? I'm like, just don't even look at them. No. Okay. Smile, soften things up. And I'm like, so here's what's going to happen. While she's talking to you, you're literally like this. And then you're saying it to her, la, 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 and then you're hearing her. Then you're saying it to her, la, 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 and then you're hearing her. What's happening? You're seeing it, you're hearing it, you're saying it, you're reading it, you're seeing it, you're hearing it, you're saying it, you know, going through that process. What starts happening, guys? Yeah, you start retaining that information. Like I said before, the human mind remembers so much of what it sees, hears, says to others. So by doing that process over and over, you start retaining. I promise there's a method to my madness. Don't look at your partner. Just say it over and over. There's people who are like, oh yeah, we got it. I'm like, really? And they've done it like 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, once you've done it 10 times, you could say like, okay, I'm comfortable. If you haven't gotten to 10, keep going. You know, like, and they're never going to get to 10 times because I'm going to stop them before that. But I'm like, just keep going. The more run throughs you get, the better. And I tell them the first time you do it, for most of you, it's gonna be a little awkward. All right, let's just be real. It's gonna be a little awkward. Second or third time feels a little better. 4th or 5th time, you're like, all right, I got the hang of this. By the 10th time you said it, you feel good with it. Cool. There will be the random exception who's like the theater person. If I already know there's someone in there, I'll just call them. I'm like, who's probably just gonna be like just amazing at first, you know. But like that's what they do. Like they pick up scripts and read them and need to sound amazing. So don't freak out. For most people, that's not how it rolls. All right. So just like keep running through, and you're gonna see through repetition, you get more and more comfortable with it. All right. And so that's it, guys. As you go through each section, like you're just having them pop read to you, share a couple little examples, and move on to the next. You're not spending a ton of time. And then when we get to names and uses, this is a part I don't read through the names and uses. So once we finish features and benefits, all right, and we go to names and uses, I go, so guys, this section, you guys all know how to, we all know by now you know how to read, right? Cool. You can literally just read this. I want you guys to see how to use them and really learn our basic set. Cool. Our basic set is right up here. You might have it on the counter, whatever. I'm like our homemaker. It was designed back in 1949 to have the minimum number of tools to do 100% of the jobs in the kitchen as efficiently as possible. It's 7 knives, 2 forks, and a spatula. It's designed to cover your basic needs. My grandma's had that set since 1957. All right. So, or 1959. So as you go through here, now you go through each tool. And I'm going to walk through and I'm like, so the first one, guys, it's your air knife. Cool. How to use it in the air, peeling, paring, and ideally you have fruits or you go back there and you show them. So what do we use this for? Yeah, in the air. All right. You're never going to use it on the board. And I tell them there's 2 ways to learn how to use a knife when you look at it. All right. Because I remember being like, how am I going to remember how to use all this stuff? Right. My manager taught me 2 things. Write these down. These are 2 rules I teach people. Number 1, you ideally want to be using a knife that's 2 or 3 inches longer than what you're cutting. I said, so if you're cutting like a melon and you have this little knife, that can be really dangerous. You know, if I'm trying to peel this apple with like this huge French chef and I'll like literally take a big knife and just be like, and I'm trying to peel this little thing, that's also really dangerous. So ideally you're using these 2 or 3 inches longer than what you're actually cutting. All right. Unless it's a paring knife, and even a larger paring knife for a larger object will be better. All right. The second rule he taught me is that if it's a double D edge, if it has the little points, that it's made to go back and forth. Cool. What that means is if it's a straight edge, it's not meant to go back and forth. So Caleb, if I see you using my chef knife and going like this and cutting food and dragging it, I'm going to stab you with it. Cool. All right. I always say that to someone. Like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, it's not made to do that. I was like, my dad would do that. I literally want to stab him with my knife. I'm like, that's not made for that. If it's a straight edge, it's meant to go like this, up and down, whack, fillet, air. They all have different purposes, but I'm just saying it's meant for a different motion. Cool. So anything you're ever going back and forth is protected with the double D edge. So if you see a double D edge, you know what's the motion, back and forth. What should you be cutting? Ideally something 2 or 3 inches, smaller than whatever the heck you're cutting. All right. So with that knife, you're like, all right, it should be like this. I'm like, so this trimmer, I'm like, think fist size. Cool. Limes, lemons, oranges, grapefruit, trimming the fat off of meats, deboning, deskinning, star fruit, like any small slicing you're doing, like that's your guy. All right. So think fist size, all your citrus, like that's your best knife for that. All right. If I have a bigger turkey, it's better for me to use the next size up. All right. So that's your small utility tool. So are you going to use this in the air? Are you going to use this on the board? No. So we've got the air knife and we got a small utility. Everyone good? Cool. Next tool is your sandwich maker. Cool. I play, like make music. You can cover. I always take an apple and I'm like, look, check this out. They're always like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's our spatula. I'm like, don't lick the icing off that one. All right. So that is great for cakes. You can cut it, you can scoop it, whatever. And I'm walking them through. And you guys can watch my names and uses section from training. But you watch me like pop quiz. I'm like, so again, what's the first one? Yeah. How to use it? Yeah. And there. What's the next one? Small chili. What do you use it for? Lime, something like that. Yeah, cool. What's this one for? Sandwiches, desserts, things and dishes. Perfect. All right, let's go to the next tool. And every 2 or 3 tools, I go back and do a quick review of all of them. And I'm like, guys, I want to say it so many times that you go, okay, I already know how to use these. Perfect. It's exactly where you want to be when you go do your demos. Got it? So again, there's a method to the madness. Like there's a reason we're repeating this because we want you guys internalizing that. Sounds good? All right. Make it simple, make it fun. And then after that, they're cutting, they eat, they make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and they can role play names and uses a little bit depending on timing until you get everyone back in. And then, all right, let's dive into money. Now we're going to dive into the value section. All right. So that is that. So any questions or comments on that section from you guys? Cass, you get some good stuff? Good. I know those who have ran training, this is going to like make more sense to you guys. All right. They're like taking mad notes and some of you guys are like, because you haven't ran training and you don't understand. It's little things that make a really big difference. All right. It's little things. There isn't a crazy magic formula pill that like the top managers take. There's little tweaks that totally change the trajectory in anything that you do. And so you can't forget that. And the same is true here. All right. And you guys are in good hands. I'm a pretty good trainer. It's something I definitely enjoy doing. So check that out. Check that section out on how to walk through with your reps. By the way, as they role play, that's your time to make sure how they're feeling. That's your time to scout out who are my 10K fast starters. Who are the people that I want to work with. And so I'm going around and I'm clearing weekends, man. I'm clearing time. Like, hey, how you guys feeling? Hey, do you have any questions? Hey, how's your weekend look? Those are 3 things I always ask. How are you feeling? Do you have any questions? Hey, how's your weekend look? And then there's more things of like, oh, like how's your family support? Like things you can, but I always want to know those things. As I'm going through that, I'm like, hey, let's talk after. Okay, I'm going to grab a group that I'm going to talk to after. I definitely want to talk to you. So I already know like who are the people that like I want to drive. Who are the people that are like, oh yeah, like I'm, like I want to go all out. I'm like, cool. I'm like, we'll talk later. So go around while they're role playing and scout your crew and know who's working towards what. That's going to make a really big impact in the pot that you have. All right. So And I went a little bit over than what I wanted to go over. So I'm going to have, you'll just like wrap up with the leadership stuff. So I want to say a couple quick things, and then I'm going to have Spencer wrap up, but some focuses and some money stuff. All right. There's a whole, and next time we meet, I'm going to go through, actually, we're going to start with a section on finances. I've got some really great stuff. But one of the things right now, and it was just so amazing. Actually, I thought I packed my book. Maybe I left it. My wealth book. Dang. It was this awesome picture. I'm going to post it tonight for you guys. And it was so cool. And it was talking about like a round of golf, right? And it was talking about just the power of compounding. And he goes, imagine if you like went out to the golf course, right? And the golf course is what, 18 holes. And you went out to play a full round of golf and you were like, let's bet on the hole. Like whoever like wins, like you win the pot, right? 10 cents. And you're like, that doesn't sound like super exciting, but cool. And you're like 10 cents. But every hole, we're going to double it. Cool? So let's do this real quick. All right. So you've got 18 holes, right? Someone grab a calculator because you're going to go times 2. All right. So we've got our holes here. So 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's it. No, 17, 18. All right. So we've got our holes. So the first one, we're doing 10 cents. Cool? Yep. So is it a really exciting game of golf? You're like, wow, the stakes are so great. I can't wait to win this hole. All right. So then the next hole, you're like, all right, we double, right? So now it's 20 cents. Is that a really exciting hole? Yeah. That's super. Then it's 40 cents. All right. Then it's 80 cents. Then it's $1.60. Then it's $3.20. Then it's $6.40. All right. Then it's $12.80. Is anyone like really, really fired up right now? Like you're just like, hell yeah, I'm gonna make bank on this golf game. All right. So, but check this out. Then we keep
25.60 is the next one.
All right. I can't have 20 people. Yeah, 25.60. So that's hole 9 is $25. Cool. It's hole 9.
51.20.
All right. I got my calculator. 50.20. Then we go to 102.
102.40.
Hole 11. We're at $100. Cool. $100. Hole 12.
204.80.
All right.
408 or 409.60.
All right. $400. And then we keep going. Go ahead.
819.20.
And then we get to 15.
1638.40.
All right. And then we get to 16.
3276.80.
17.
65.53.
I'm not using a calculator.
65.53.80.
All right.
60, sorry.
And then round 18.
$13,107.
Would anyone be
They're
excited?
using a calculator. I was not.
Okay. And by the way, this was so cool to watch. And we were talking a lot about compound interest and just how a little becomes a lot, you know, in very little time. And it's just so wild, like just in a 10-year span, 15-year span, what can happen, what happens over 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, with even right now saying, I'm putting aside $200, like for the fall, and that's it. That will never be touched and never like be looked at. And like every year, if you could put aside $500 or maybe like $1,000, or it's a percentage, and committing to a certain number as you're younger. And for you guys, and I want to talk about next time, is it's buckets. Like where are you putting your buckets to? And being able to like be aggressive with your savings and say, okay, I have a check that I'm making, committing yourself. 10% is to you to play with, to do whatever the heck you want to do with. You earned it. You worked hard. 10%, do what you want. Whatever your check is, 10%, go play with. 10%, I believe, should be contribution, tithing, whatever, you want to do with it, but doing something for the good of people, or others. Then you need to have your savings number. What's your savings number? At least 10, if not 20 or 30. For us, it's 25%, whatever that number is, even 10%, even 5% is something. But this is 10% that's you pay you. It never gets spent anywhere else. It gets put away into long-term savings, okay? Long-term investments, Roth, whatever it is. There's so many different things you can do, but that's money that's going into savings. So committing an amount that you're like, all right, 10% is to play, 10% is to give, 10 to whatever you are comfortable with is to just put away, and then like that in long-term investment. And then, hey, this is for short-term savings, and being able to separate things and looking at, okay, what do you need to earn? You've got to pay. Some of you guys are like paying everything else and you pay yourself last. You go party and then you run out of money. It's like, no, take out that $50 in the beginning. When you got that $500 check, 10% is $50. It's $50. Take that $50 and put it into your savings. Cool. $50 you get to freaking play with and do whatever the hell you want with. That's it from that check, nothing else. Like, designate where you want it to go. And so we're going to talk about that, because if you guys can develop proper wealth building habits now, it's going to be incredible what happens for you years from now. It is stupid the amount of money Cutco people can make at a young age. Like, it is ridiculous how much money people can make. And you guys see it. And some of you guys have experienced it, and some of you watch it, all right? Like, it is silly for a 24-year-old, 25-year-old to be earning $5 to $7 grand a week, you know, selling knives. And we see it all across the nation all the time. We see people earning 10, 15, 20, 30 grand in a week. You know, it's just ridiculous. It was awesome. See Kinnamore's check last week. He's like, look at this. I was like, hell yeah. He's like, I didn't even know this was possible non-summer, like his exact words. And I was like, yeah, it is. And it's really exciting, the opportunity that we have as young people to save a lot and put a lot away. And I really want to get really smart with that. And that's a big focus of you guys taking a lot of pride as we go to 2018. And who saves the most this next year? Who's building wealth? Who's putting stuff away? You know, setting yourself up for your future. Because again, my goal is to give you guys the tools that you need to have the time, to have the resources to spend with your family, to have a great life, to love your work, not to work out of stressing because you have to, but to work because you want to, you know, to have capitalize on your finances and have stuff put away for later and develop the right habits with smaller amounts of money. So when you have the bigger amounts of money, they're already set in place. We really want to see you guys thrive at a high level. I'm really stoked about that. All right. So I asked, and we kind of got switched around just with timing, but I wanted Spencer to share a couple quick thoughts. You know, some of you guys had read the book, Entrepreneurship Roller Coaster. Some of you guys hadn't had a chance to read it yet, and just some great takeaways, just to kind of wrap us up with some thoughts on leadership and things from the book. I do want to say also congrats. I know some of you guys already gave you yours. David, I do have yours here. I know I have Kamani's, so when you go back up there, Sebastian's, I have yours. Jay, I have yours here. But this is your President's Club letter. By the way, this is mine. Yep, I have yours. They all came in here. So all of mine and the Sugarland people, they're here. But this right here, guys, is huge. And this is something that you can be very proud of and get one every campaign. You can get one every campaign. And so this is Jay's. It says, it's with great pleasure I submit to you my recommendation of Jay Taylor, who was associated with our company in a sales capacity during the summer of 2017. As a sales rep for Vector, Jay has received extensive training in interpersonal communications, time management, and the importance of an individual's attitude regarding their accomplishments. In addition to attending our professional training seminar, he also attended sales conferences where he participated in extensive workshops with individuals in his peer group and managers of the corporate staff. I have received the highest personal recommendation from Jay's manager, Kathy Kristen. During his time with us, Jay has won many sales awards. He has distinguished himself not only through sales performance, but as a potential leader through involvement in the operation of our district office. As a result, he's amongst a special group of individuals honored by me as a member of our President's Club. This honor is reserved for our high achievers, and we are very proud of this accomplishment. Any individual within our organization that achieves this distinction certainly is a highly motivated and talented individual. Direct sales have long been recognized as a proving ground for successful business people from all walks of life. It requires hard work, self-discipline, a willingness to accept challenge, and a high degree of personal responsibility. Jay is such an individual, and this is why I feel important in passing along my personal recommendation to you. In closing, let me invite you to contact me personally at our corporate headquarters. If you have any questions, also feel free to contact our local manager, Kathy Kristen. Thank you for this opportunity to submit my feelings about this fine young individual, and it's hand-signed by the president of our company. So this is super legit and amazing for your guys' resume. You know, how many times can you guys hit that? Can you knock that out every semester? That's a great collection to have, by the way, for the future, just for you, whether it's in Cutco or out of Cutco. You know, all these things are things we look at when we're looking to put people in the best positions, the best opportunities for advancement with our company. We want people that can lead by example. So awesome job. So high five or hand, you know, round of applause, whatever. High five to you guys. So we do have a lot of them here. And so when you guys come home for Thanksgiving, you come home for the weekend, we'll have those in the front desk. But awesome job. You guys check with your DMs. I know I got all of Sugarland, Jersey Village, and ours came here, and Richmond, full shirt. Those came to my office, but the other guys have theirs. So things before Spencer wraps us up. Money, make sure you guys are getting a certain amount of money to put into your savings. So you guys want to be over $1,000. Olean trip. By the way, tomorrow is the deadline. So this is how this works. Make sure you guys all know and understand. For the Olean trip, I know I had posted it before, but I want to make sure you guys all have this. All right, it's free, but it's not. Someone's like, how much is it? I'm like, you're giving up a little bit of commissions for a hell of a trip to the factory. That's for sure. It pays for your flight. It pays for your hotel for 3 nights. It pays for your food. It pays for your transportation. And what happens is we land Thursday. There's a welcome dinner party thing, like pizza and snacks and whatever. And like it's at a game hall, and they have like pool tables and different games out, as well as like bowling, and everyone just is landing, getting there, hanging out. Then get to rest that night. The morning we start early, we go to the factory. You guys get a tour of the factory in Olean, New York, which is absolutely phenomenal. You get a chance to meet all the executives. You get to see how everything's made. Let me tell you, when it comes to conviction and going to that, Tay can tell you, and I always like talk to our guys about it. Like, you guys who have been will rave about it. And just what a cool experience it is to be able to go up there, and meet everyone. I've had the privilege of going like 16 times to the factory. This will be my 16th time going to the factory. Huh?
It's so awesome. It's so fun. It's so cool.
It is. It's a really cool experience, and just your level of confidence and conviction, I think, for the company too, grows to another level. And it's just neat to put like faces with names, but just to see people who've worked there for so freaking long and what goes into making our kick-ass products, so I think that's pretty awesome. So you get to do that. So Friday, we're at the factory. That evening, there's a dinner. There's a push countdown, right? So the push starts 2 weeks from now. So we have a push countdown with all the executives. And so this is in a big ballroom. We have it. We have a message from our executive, from our CEO. And then we get on the buses and we drive to Niagara Falls. Cool? So we get to Niagara Falls and everyone unloads there. Some people might walk around and check out by the falls. That night, just depending on where you're at, I recommend getting some rest. We have a conference the next day on Saturday in the morning, and we're done by the afternoon, and we're done for the rest of the time. So the rest of the day is exploring, going to Niagara Falls, taking pictures, going over to Canada. People do different things, and then hanging out that night. And it's just a really fun time of connecting with some of the best of the future of Southwest region up in Olean, New York. And sometimes there's other regions that overlap. So we've hung out with the Western region before, Eastern region before, like there's other people there. Usually the same time there's another region like overlapping, like just arriving. So it's a really neat time. And then on Sunday, everyone takes flights home. All right. So all of this, you can pay for it. Either you pay, they only charge us $750 for the trip, by the way, which this trip costs more than that, just so you know. For flight accommodations and food costs more than $750. But that's what they put as the price of the cost, or the price of the trip. The region takes the rest of it. So they say, hey, if you sell a galley trade-in, that covers half your cost. You pay $375. If you sell an essentials +5, that covers half your cost. You sell 1 and 1 or 2 of each, you had your whole trip covered. Or you sell a homemaker, and with the homemaker, you can still give 175 points for free, and free stuff to whoever you sell it to, and that still counts for your trip. And so in order for it to count for your trip, I want to make sure you guys know you do need to label this properly, and so we'll repost it in the group so you guys have it, but it does need to be labeled properly. It's not a regular Rolo order and you go, oh, that was for Olean. It's done separately, so I do want to make sure you guys do understand that that you do that separate. So whenever somebody buys, this is it can be, or actually it says you can put it on Rolo now, but you have to put it marked on special instructions, Southwest Olean trip. Cool. So they said you can mail it in, fax it, which was what we used to do, or it can be submitted, but you have to put it on the special instructions, or they're not going to put it as the trip money. All right. So you guys want to get signed up. You can sign up still on 6Pay. All right, so it'll be like $95, I think, is each charge. Or actually now, sorry, that was on the 7Pay. Now we're on 6Pay, so it's a little over $100 that's going to be charged each week. But next week you sell the homemaker, that goes right back. Cool. So whatever you're getting charged, that goes reverse, right? When you sell the homemaker, you get that back onto your commissions for that trip. But right now they still have the 6-pay option, which I would do to secure your spot. And then you still have 6 weeks to make sure you sell your homemaker. Cool. Or to sell those 2 sets so that you are free and clear and you got sponsored for the event. And that's pretty easy to do, especially if you're tying customers into what you're doing and how you're going out to like run your own office and you're working hard and you got invited to do a tour of the factory and meet the CEO and all of the corporate staff. Like that's pretty freaking baller. So make sure you guys are taking care of that. If you're 17, I'm sorry you're not able to go. So Dan Hung couldn't go last year. I'm trying to see if we can get him to go this year because he's 18 now, but he's DM. It's a hell of an event to go to. If you've already gone, like Caleb went last year, you can't go again. So you go once in your career, and they have only a certain amount of spots for our region. I want to make sure our guys get to go. And so this is a big deal when we're making decisions as well, because they want to look at who's serious, you know, who's up there, who's connected. It's a big deal to corporate people being there. And so it's very case-by-case exemption of someone not going for them to allow somebody to open an office. And it's usually like our fall athletes who have to get an excuse from a coach, and we know like that's how they're paying for school. So our guys who are playing fall football and stuff, soccer in college, and that's how they pay for school, or you know, some other major thing that has to be excused for corporate to look past that, because they're not going to invest and say, yeah, we're going to give this kid $8,000. They're not even investing into themselves and taking it serious, you know. So that's really big, but it's gonna be a hell of an event. So we do want to make sure everyone's getting. I'm going to look. I know we have 10 people that already signed up. And so right now we have 30 spots for our guys. So I want to make sure like our top 30 are getting a chance to be there. But since it's still early, as long as we're signing up by this next week, like we can take other people's spots. Brian Winan said that. He's like, look, the region has, I forgot the amount, I have to look at it again, but it's like 175 spots I think we have as a region is all we have. And there's 8 divisions, you know, so different regions have smaller numbers because they have smaller, you know, they're putting out less offices, but we can take more spots if we take them this week, and then it'll be limited. Next week, they're going to kind of divvy it out between the 8 divisions on how many more tickets they can have to bring their people. So we want to make sure we get on that in the next 24 hours. You right now, you guys can sign up on Rollo. Just go to your Rollo, you know, or event registration, and you can just sign up and take care of it. So you're in, but you want to sign up by tomorrow. So you still have that 6-pay option. And then whenever you sell it, it just goes right back on your account. Cool. So I know we ran a couple minutes over, but I do want to give them a couple minutes to share a couple thoughts. And I appreciate you guys taking time out. I know that it's a sacrifice to do this, and it's something that's setting you guys up long term, and it doesn't go unnoticed again as you guys take time out for yourselves.
Hey, Kathy.
Hold on.
The homemaker, right?
Yeah.
Where would we write on there?
Special instructions. When you do special instructions, you just put Southwest Olean trip when you do that. Cool. Tate?
Am I allowed to go again?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Nope.
But it's been like 2 years. We'll we'll chat. All right. So cool. Wrap us up, my amazing husband.
They're looking suave.
Yeah, always.
Thank you very much.
Anytime, Spencer.
One thing I wanted to add is when you go to Olean, I don't know if any of you know anybody who's in blue collar who works their ass off in a factory or anything like that. Do they typically come home super excited about their job? Anybody? I don't hear the rattle in the head.
No.
No, they actually hate their job and they talk about it on a regular basis. When you actually go to the factory, you will see people thank you and praise you for doing your job. More than any manager that you have working with you will praise you. And it blows your mind to find out
so cool.
How much they appreciate you and obviously how much we appreciate them, how that synergy works together and why we have such a great company. It really just gives a whole dynamic and changes your perception on what we do, because we don't just sell knives. We actually create lives for almost half of Olean.
Mm-hmm.
And most people who work in the factory in Olean have been employed by Cutco for over 20 years. That's the average time that anybody's been employed by Cutco is 20 years. That's working in the factory currently.
Mm-hmm.
And they enjoy their job, which is completely different than most others. So I just wanted to add that. That's one of the biggest things I took away when I went to Olean like 10 years ago. Don't chuckle.
Oh, we have like 2 minutes.
Anyway, so I want to start off with a quote that actually kind of hones in what we're talking about, leadership and building a business and being a recruiter. But you don't train your people to be successful. You hire successful people, right? Every person that we've hired, bring onto our team, we brought them onto our team because we know that they can be successful. We didn't bring them onto our team to fail. Understand that. You brought them on for a reason. Now you have to be the leader that gets them to what you thought they could do. So for being a master recruiter and a business builder, I want to say that there are 3 principles to being successful at this. Okay, the first one is to know what you want. Do you know what you want your office to be? Do you have a goal? Do you have a plan? Do you have something that you have a vision that's driving? Because if you have that, you know who you need on that bus to create that vision. So do you know what you want? Do you want to run a $100,000 office? Do you want to run a $1 million office? Do you want to win a silver cup? Each one of those categories is looking for different types of people, and you need different quantities of those people. Okay? So do you know what you want? The second is, do you know what they want? Do you know what they want? Being a leader in today's society is not what being a leader back when your grandparents were leaders or bosses, for lack of a better term. A leader is now someone that inspires vision to people who don't see the vision. Do you know what they're going to get out of working here? If this is not their career, what are they going to take from working with us to help them propel themselves into whatever career they want to go into? You and I and all can agree that not every person that we bring through that door is going to work with us forever. Most of you in this room did not think you'd be here next summer, and now you're signed up to potentially have an internship and run your own office. But it's because someone created vision for you that you did not see in yourself to get you there. So what do they want? What are they going to gain? Do you guys know what do you think is the number one reason people get a job, or what are they looking for out of a job? What'd you say? Money is the absolute wrong answer.
Happiness in their job.
Happiness, and there's a bunch of ways to achieve happiness, but it's fulfillment, right? It's that feeling of achievement. But almost every person thinks money is the motivator. And through multiple polls, I was just looking at Forbes to verify this, it was the 10th ranked attribute they're looking for. The top one they were looking for is great people to work with, which I'm sure you all can agree. We have a wonderful group of people. We create what we work with. We have control of that. Second is they want a challenge. Contrary to popular belief, they want to be challenged, because if they're not growing, they're dying. They're not being fulfilled. Cutco fits that. Second is opportunity to advance, to grow, to be a different person, to become a better person. They have opportunities. Most of you are 18, 19, 20 years old. You have an opportunity to run your own office as an internship. That's a crazy opportunity. And some of you heard that and you're like, hell yes. Other people said, oh my God, that's scary. But I'm thinking about it. But there's that opportunity. And then there's the growth, constant challenge to improve yourself. Right? And the last ones fall into place all on concept of growth or contribution. The last one is money. In an environment where all we talk about money is the least motivator for other people, because they like contributing to others. They like watching people grow. They like the challenge because the challenge has a reward. But when they do the same thing over and over again, when they get the same paycheck over and over again, they deteriorate in what they think they're worth. Their value decreases in their own opinion, so they accept less for themselves. They don't enjoy that. They're not fulfilling their life. So understand, as a leader, you need to know what they want so you can help them reach that. Gain the attributes, gain the skills from us, because we know that we teach the skills for life. Hence it says it on our brochure, right? But our job is to find out what they need from us, not push on them what we think they need. And the third factor is the F factor. What's your wow? And for us, it's more of what's your culture? What does your team think about when they walk in the door? Are they excited? Or are they like, oh shit, Gray's gonna yell at us again? Right? Even if they come in and you grill them on page 16, they get excited. They're like, yeah, watch this, Gray. Mrs. Jones, how'd you like my demo? And they just spit it at you and you're like, high five, you're an all-star. And they go out and crush it, make more money, have more fun, grow more, have more opportunities. But it's what culture are you creating them? What sets you apart from all their friends that work at McDonald's or Starbucks? What are they going to gain? What do they enjoy about coming to your office? Okay. So productivity is never an accident. It's always a result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. I'll repeat that. Productivity is never an accident. It is always a result of commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. And that's by Paul J. Meyer. And the reason I brought this is because that's going to transition to the next thing that I want to finish with, is what is a 21st century leader? And a lot of this you're going to hear over and over again. Why? Because it's the little things that make the big difference. But the first thing for a 21st century leader, a leader in this day and age, a leader of millennials, which is something you all need to harness and hone, because that's all you're going to be working with from here on forward. You might work with some people above that age gap, but this is the way you need to lead. And the first one is lead. The leader sets the pace. The leader sets the pace. You create the standards in your office. Even if you're not the leader, you are a leader, you still set the pace, because everybody else is looking at the people who are the leaders. It's not just one person 9 times out of 10. But when you open your own office, you become that one person that sets the standard, okay? Your team will only be as disciplined as you are. They're only going to be as driven and focused as you are. And they're only going to be as consistent as the person leading them. So if you work your ass off for 2 weeks and then don't show up for a couple of days, you just lost all their commitment, because you just showed them you're not consistent in all your efforts and everything you asked for. It's probably the most violated principle in leadership today, is leading by example. For an example, perfect example was Seabass. If you don't know anything about Sebastian, he actually comes from my Cutco lineage. I actually know him really well. To go from $150,000 year to almost a $600,000 year.
Almost 700,000.
Yeah, hasn't finished, almost 700. He's probably going to get close to 758, depending on how his fall goes, right? But that is over. Who'd be excited about 400% growth? Yeah, the difference is Sebastian got in his office and worked. He saw an opportunity, he capitalized on it, and he ran. He's like, I actually talked to Greg, his division manager at SLC, and he was night and day difference. He shows up, he has a plan, he knows what to do, he has a vision, he has outcomes, and he talks about it all the time. Every person in his office knows what the goal is, what the standard is, and what they're going to achieve. It's always talked about. He creates that vision. He is the pace leader. He's in there sending messages. He's in there setting PRs all the time. Your people don't listen to you, but they watch you. They always watch. Be the example. Your people don't listen to you, but they do watch you.
Mm-hmm.
They always watch you. Be the example. Number 2, leaders do what is unpopular. Leaders always do what is unpopular. And what's funny is I talk to a ton of people and they oh, you run a business? That must be so nice. Oh, no, that's awesome. You must love running your own job. I'm like, I do love it. I love what I do, but it's not easy. We have to do the things that the other people don't want to do. Have a tough conversation when someone does something they're not supposed to do. You have to hold people accountable to actions that they say they're going to take and they don't do it. Those are the tough conversations that the average person doesn't want to have. But those are the most crucial as a leader. At points, you're going to get name called, or if you're a big enough leader, you're over a bunch of people, there's always going to be a naysayer. There's always going to be someone tell you that this person's a jerk and this blah, 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 because you weren't going to let them get away with something. But understand what they're really chanting is, he's a leader. She's a leader. She'll hold me accountable. You're always going to have to do things that are unpopular. Make PR calls. Show up on campus when you don't want to. But it's the leader that makes the big difference. One of the reasons I can tell you Kathy's organization has been as dominant as it has is because she's one of the few managers that still makes PR calls. Mind blown, right? Yeah, I know. But if you don't do the little things, your people won't do the little things either. Number 3, leaders grow others. Leaders grow others. Leaders don't tell people what to think. They encourage people to think for themselves. Leaders don't tell people what to think. They encourage people to think for themselves. And I didn't understand this until my division manager, now the region manager of Central Region, Mike Muriel, I call him up for help, and he would always ask me a question after I asked him a question. It's like, this is redundant. But I'd always end up to the answer, and he's like, yeah, it sounds like a good idea. I'm like, oh, okay. Your job is not to impose on them what to think, but help them think for themselves, because 9 times out of 10, they have the answer. You just have to help them get to the answer by asking questions, right? Help people grow by empowering them to think. And the fourth one, the last one here is leaders let others lead. Leaders let others lead. Now, leaders do not pass off tasks before the other person is ready, but they will let someone lead by example, right? So now in your offices, as you grow into branch, you're going to do almost everything in the beginning, unless you have it set up like you're supposed to and have 4 AMs coming in who already know what's going on. But then there's moving parts around. You don't just throw somebody into it. You lead them when they're ready, and you let them take hold of responsibility, because they grow faster when you give them some responsibility as well. Okay? You cannot be a great leader if you're spending time doing tasks that aren't actually leadership. You cannot be a great leader if you're spending time doing tasks that are not great leadership. So make sure that you're doing what's most productive for your team, and also helping other people grow, giving them the ability to run an interview or run a PC or do PDI. It's the little things, and you can teach them. There's scripts for all of that, okay? But the last thing I want to finish up with is one of the quotes I came across a couple weeks ago and absolutely fell in love. And it's, what you learn after you know it all is what counts. It's what you learn after you know it all that counts. And that's by the coach, John Wooden, for any of those who know that. But remember that. A lot of you are going to catch yourselves in, I know that. You don't know it, you're familiar with it. Because when you're exposed to that information, you want to shut your brain off, but don't shut it off until you have it mastered. It's what you learn after you know it that's going to set the difference for your success moving forward.
Awesome. Time to dominate. Woo! Okay, bye. See you guys.
Bye.